What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. I just spent the last 5 minutes talking to you guys and letting you know how energetically drained, mentally fatigued, and physically exhausted I was until Ghost Dragons popped on and was like, you're not live. So I'm live now. Welcome, guys. It's so good to see you all. It's been a crazy couple of days. There's a heat wave here, but there's just something in the air that is just draining me. I mean, from the time I opened today to now, I am just like, it's been wild in spirit land specifically. Eris starting the night off right. One of our wrenches wrenching. She said, hiya, people. Just a Eris friendly reminder to be mindful of what we say on Gemma's channel so she doesn't get demonetized. Thanks. Yeah, YouTube is very petty. YouTube is a child, and it's starting to become not even worth being on YouTube anymore, to be honest. Surviving off donations is not working for me anymore, which is crazy because it's worked the last 4 years. It's so weird. Let's see who else we got. Ghostdragonzw. Melissa Nicole, your energy is very low tonight. I hope that you're all right. Blue Crossroads, Friday night must be Oracle time. Hello, chat. Well, hello, love bug. Siebes, I hope you're still here, but I will try my best to do a timestamp for you. I don't like to be like, I'm going to timestamp, and then at the end, I end up with like 10, and I'm just so drained and so tired. But I will do my best because you are a member. So more than likely, I'll be able to do that if you're not still here when you're called. The Bat Mom. Hello, hello, hello. So yeah, I just spent literally 5 minutes talking to you all. Nomio, what's up? Welcome, welcome. And again, thanks guys for coming. Normally this stream pulls me right out of those energetic funks, especially when I'm just done on so many different levels. Smoochie girl, what's up? I did get a new deck. One of the women who gets a monthly subscription box from me, Deedles Montez, Miss Deirdre, she bought me a beautiful Goddess Oracle deck. It's over there, so I'm not going to show it, but when I pull it out to read, you know, that was great. So nice of her, and it's a beautiful deck. I didn't get to use it yet because I just got it today. She works at the place where I go for my monthly doctor appointment. A lot of issues there today. It was just not good. I had a construction worker screaming in my face who thought he was going to come up and poke me. And, you know, that wasn't happening. So got a little bit of trouble, but not too much. I'm here. Little man got done with school Wednesday. He had a half day. So luckily I stacked scripts I've been working on for months so that I have content for you guys every week on Monday morning. And I just came across a video about time slips that I was like, nice, a new video about time slips, but it wasn't. It was someone with 245,000 views on my exact script of my time slip video. I went to the rest of her channel and she covers a lot of the same things I do and with the exact same words because she's copying me. That's very frustrating because that means she's making thousands of dollars a month off of something I'm making $1 off of, and it's my work. And these scripts, the scripts that I do, even the short ones, take me months because I want to make sure I'm putting the right information out there. And a part of me is like, you know what? I'm just going to become a sellout because at this point, I don't know what else to do to make money. But what's up, Anna? I want tonight to be, as it always is, really positive, and I want to be a light and a bright presence for you guys. So yeah, funny story real quick. Yesterday, my best mom friend calls me and she's like, hey, I'm taking the twins to Frog Falls Aquatic Park. And I'm like, all right, yes, let's go. Right. I've always wanted to go there. RJ's always wanted to go there, but summer memberships are like $600 per person, even for the kids. I can't pay that. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. We get up there, not realizing it's at Picatinny Arsenal. So 14 years ago, my wallet got stolen with my ID in it, photo ID, and I never really needed one. Since then, I don't drink. So like, I really didn't need one. I don't drive. So we get there and I forgot that it's military. It's where they test all the weapons and all that. So they were like, you can't get in here without photo ID. And I'm like, yeah, but it was stolen. I didn't say it was stolen 14 years ago. I was just like, it's stolen. Like, they're like, sorry. So then I had to figure out a way to get to Funplex, and it was an ordeal, but we ended up having a lot of fun. So yeah, Jarvis, I'm really struggling because I'm like, I can move this to TikTok and make a ton of money and not a ton, but like way more. But I try not to think about it because I'm like, if I just like slow and steady wins the race, right? And I don't want to give up right before the miracle happens, because I've been on YouTube for almost 5 years, and I don't want to just toss it and switch completely to a different platform. But these days, like, I'm not even covering $100, and weekly I'm not getting donations. So it's been a struggle, especially with RJ's birthday coming up. It's very frustrating. All right. New deck tonight. Excited about that. As soon as Ghosty comes back, I think he was waiting for like 2 hours for a pizza, which even in Ohio, that seems like a very long time. Nicole Perone, what's up? Anyone else that I didn't see? As soon as he comes back to his seat, I will pop him back on and we'll just get started. I hope you guys are having a great summer so far. I think tomorrow is the first day of summer, but we're experiencing a heat wave here. So that's always good. I get so grumpy in hot weather. I got in the car today and I'm like, I'm so agitated. And my husband's like, why are you agitated? I'm like, oh no, I'm like, I'm so hot and I'm so agitated. He's like, why are you so agitated? I'm like, because I'm so hot. Like, I don't want to be ever hot. Like, I hate being uncomfortable. All right. Let's bring in the man of the hour here.
Hello, everybody. I'm stressing. The pizza's still not here.
Oh my God. I would have been on that phone.
I'm gonna have a cow. They're gonna hear from me, that's for sure.
That's a long time. Did anybody?
Yeah, considering I ordered it after 15. I ordered it at 10 after 5, and I talked to one driver, and he said I could hear them in the background. She was waiting for the order, and that place sounded like a mess. Then it never came. So I called again and got this guy this time, and he's like, "Dude, they're like a mess here," and I'm like, "Okay." Well, I just got a text saying now it's going to be between 7:12 and 7:21.
They better give you some kind of discount. That is
yeah. There's going to be a conversation because I'm going to call the store directly.
That is over 2 hours. Yeah,
just right up to 3. That's nuts.
So yeah,
Hi,
and he can have inappropriate times. That explains a lot, huh? Yeah, and I love the summer too. It's when it's so hot and like I can't do anything about it, right? So I love the summer. I love being at the beach and I love being in the pool and I love being in the air conditioner. But like when I have to be out like doing real life stuff and it's just hot, I just get agitated. All right, why don't we jump in and get started?
Okay, your first person is Melissa Nicole.
Melissa Nicole?
You are correct. Melissa, you're here, right? Yep, I see her.
Let's start off with the new deck. Let me grab it here. All right, the Goddess Oracle. So this is it. I have not used it yet. That is true, Anna. All right, Melissa, let's see what's going on. Demeter, feelings and emotions. I dated this Macedonian guy named Demeter. I think Demeter was his real name, but we called him Dimitri. But we're, of course, talking about the goddess Demeter, mother of Persephone. I'm trying to see what the temperature is here. I don't know, but there is a heat warning, an extreme heat warning. Okay. No numbers, but I'm sure they're in alphabetical order. Ooh, the Arrhenius are in here too. Okay. Hey, Mama Cindy, how are you? Melissa, I felt it all, the rage, the anger, the joy, the happiness, the tearing, the anguish, and I searched for the middle ground, the sure path between what I felt and what I did with it. Then I shed the skins, the layers that built up when feelings aren't voiced and aren't heard, aren't acknowledged. By giving my feelings their rightful place, I keep myself far from the intensity, immensity, sheer density, and cost of emotion. Demeter has come to light your way through the dark and challenging labyrinth of feelings/emotions. It's time to nurture wholeness by accepting, acknowledging, and expressing your feelings. Feelings are what you feel. Emotions are your reaction to your feelings. Feelings left unexpressed build up and can create disease, for they take up space inside and keep healthy energy from flowing. Perhaps as a child, your feelings and you weren't heard. Therefore, you needed to give them more energy in order to get any sort of response. Perhaps you fear your emotions and or feelings will render you too vulnerable, overwhelm you, or take you to places from which you won't be able to return. Demeter says the more you learn to accept and acknowledge those feelings, the less time you'll spend in emotional turmoil and the more energy you will have to live life. The more you learn to accept and honor your feelings, the safer it will become to express them. And that makes sense, Melissa, specifically for what you're going through, right? A lot of what you're going through, I know in situations like that, just from personal experience and from seeing friends go through it and family members, more people go through those types of things than most people realize, that we start shutting down to the emotion of it because we fear the reaction. Especially in certain types of abuse, there's whatever your reaction is always becomes the initial problem somehow, right? So what this card is saying to you in the next couple of weeks, Melissa, take time to, at the very least, acknowledge that the emotion is there, even if you don't want to react from it or act on it, right? So you don't want to do it in front of your abuser or in front of anyone toxic or narcissistic, but takes a couple seconds even to yourself to remind yourself that you have this feeling, you have these emotions, and you're allowed to, right? Maybe even thinking about how you would react if you were allowed to do so. I feel as well, with Demeter, the mythology is really interesting because she was just going about life. It's her daughter that ended up being pulled into Hades, into kind of the depths of hell as we look to it. Melissa, in the next couple of weeks, I'm hearing very clearly something about a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay. So I don't know what that exactly means for you. You already know the one person is a wolf in sheep's clothing, obviously, but there is someone else I feel like that's coming in. But I don't think that you're not going to be on to this person, right? You're going to immediately see what they are. The problem is when we're in abuse for so long, it takes a long time to snap out of that people-pleasing behavior. And you may accept this person into your life as a friend. Maybe it's a new job, as a boss, as the romantic partner of a friend of yours. Like this person, simply because you don't want to say anything rude, or you don't want this person not to like you, and guard stays up, right? But don't even give an inch to this person. It doesn't matter. And this is easier said than done because even I don't live by this. I need people to reinforce this in my head. It doesn't matter if a perfect stranger doesn't like you. I know. What a concept. I wish I could say that I've learned this, and I have learned it, but I don't put it into practice. I'm always concerned of I know that person's a piece of garbage, but nobody else does. So let me, be nice to them or go out of my way to impress them. And the fact of the matter is you don't have time for that. Okay. You've been through enough. You put up with enough. You're still in the back and forth of it all. I'm glad you're in the back and not the forth right now where you've stepped away again. Regardless of that, do not, in the next 2 weeks, do not take someone at face value. And this is going to be a lesson for you in following your instinct and intuition, because your team is going to yell to you through your spirit, your instinct, intuition, those gut feelings, your conscience, who should be around you and who shouldn't. And I would be very careful that this person, the original person, isn't sending someone to spy on you, to hit on you and see how you react. I mean, this is petty high school BS we're dealing with here, but it is what it is. Keep your guard up around people you don't know, male or female, because I'm getting like an androgynous type of energy here, which means they're not going to tell me which one it is. I'm getting leaning a little bit more towards the masculine, so a little bit more that it's probably a male, but I can't tell you that 100%. Yeah, see? Exactly. Melissa says, right, because the last one talked me out of listening to my instinct. I was crazy. We allow that to happen all the time, though, because our instinct isn't tangible. And as human beings, we need tangible evidence before we turn on someone or say no to someone that we feel maybe physically attracted to or feel a connection with, or see a light inside of, right? We know for a fact they're not using that light, but the potential for them to use it is there, right? So we're going to take on a project without even realizing that's what we're doing. And that's when we run into trouble. Rainwater, what's up?
Hi, Rainwater. Thanks for stopping in and giving us your
no problem, sweetie. All right, who's next?
Blue Crossroads.
Thank you, Blue. Our high was 81. I guess it's the humidity. It felt like, I think that's what it is. I think it said it feels like 93, right? Blue, we're going to stick to what we know here and use the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Blue Crossroads deck. Melissa, you are so welcome. Valkyrie, the card of choice. Card number 42, dangerous. You have control over yourself only, and you can choose your thoughts and actions. It's never too late to change. You can transform your fears. Be courageous, even though you may be fearful. The battlefield of the ancient Norse was not a pretty place. For Viking warriors upon the battlefield, the incentive to fight bravely until death was what came after. While we often hear the idea of our lives flashing before us at the time of death, what Norse warriors hoped would be there was more likely, and for some, hopefully, a beautiful yet terrible Valkyrie. Valkyries took the form of women in battle dress, sometimes winged, often on a mighty horse, eyes flashing and singing a song of blood and glory. The Valkyries were the chooser of the slain and were present at every battle of the Norse. Their primary service was to select the most worthy and bravest of the dead warriors, the Iron Jar, and spirit them to the Valhalla with the god Odin, or to reside with the goddess Freya in her hall, the Folkvanger, which translates to battlefield. Jarvis, no. Did you send it through my email? I don't even remember. I remember talking about it. I got to get to my email anyway, because I have this dude that, well, it's a whole vampire thing. I want to check into his story. Yeah, I don't think I got it. Maybe I did. I honestly don't know. But I will check it out. I'm always interested in learning about, like, obviously, like, my hometown and around where I live. Valkyries would joyfully serve the Iron Jar mead until their final battle, Ragnarok, alongside the gods. While there was the idea that the Valkyries were beautiful and incandescent in appearance, the older descriptions referred to them as Odin's ravens, dark black in clothing, screaming wildly, and dripping in blood. Ooh, they sound lovely. Later, they became much more beautiful and benevolent, still powerful, yet almost a kind of reward for supreme bravery and dying for tribe. The choice of dying for others, of not running away, of protecting a colleague, or of choosing courage, even though they may have been full of fear, is the power the Valkyries rewarded. Their urging to exhibit courage in the way we enact our lives and to release ourselves from the heavy bonds of regret and powerful lessons to learn. Your plant companion is Arctic Thyme, and your crystal companion is Ruby, which is July's birthstone, one of my favorites. So yeah, this is the universe telling you, like, you've always been brave, right? you've always had this kind of courageous, patient spirit, just who you are as a person, why you ended up in the field you ended up in your younger days. Even now, sometimes I'll be talking to you and you're like, hold on, some teenagers are fighting on the boardwalk. And of course, they're going to send you because you're former whatever it was you were, right? Police, I'll say. This is the universe telling you, don't change that now. In the next couple of weeks, I feel like you're going to be going through something, if you're not already, where you're going to, I'm sorry, Jarvis, if you give me the name of the guy, I'll just write it down and look it up myself. That way he doesn't have to go through all that, because I really do want to look into that and cover it. I'd like to cover it this summer. You're going to be going through something that's going to require that strength and bravery, but being that strength and being brave for somebody else, which again, that's kind of your thing. But this is without losing sight of the fact that energy should always be reciprocated, right? Now, sometimes we end up in situations where the other person or the other people involved can't reciprocate the same exact thing. So it's up to us, or it will be up to you to decide, is the juice worth the squeeze? Worth what I'm getting? And if it is, I feel like you're in for, I don't want to say a struggle. I feel like whoever this is about, the person or people that you're being asked to be strong, brave, and courageous for, they're really going to be in a situation where they need that. I feel like you're in the next couple of weeks. I don't see it going much further. I feel like there's going to be like a week or two of like boom, 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 where this person or these people are really going to need your strength and your patience and your understanding and even your bravery somehow. So it could be like your sister. It could be the person we discuss usually privately. It could be anybody that you care for. I feel like it's important not to allow yourself, to the best of your ability, you are only human, to become overwhelmed. And not to allow you specifically, sir, your Libra mind to overthink this. I do see this as being a genuine call for strength from you, from this person. But I feel like it just could be a lot for you to take on, a lot for you to manage, especially with the energetic reciprocity not being balanced, right? You are a Libra sun and balance is very important. This is the universe saying either hang on or don't, but there's no in between. Who's next?
Next is Aunt Edna. Hello, dear.
Oh, can I tell you guys a funny story about ghost dragons? So last night at around 10:45, I receive a text message. And it says something to the effect of, I'm so sorry to do this to you. I'm sorry to do it last minute, but a friend of mine asked me to go camping and I'm going to go. I need to do this. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of leaving you stranded last minute. But I have to, Gemma, I have to do this for myself. And I'm thinking, well, it's a little late, but okay, like we'll figure it out. He's acting like he's going away for 17 years and never coming back. No, I know. But it's funny because my first thought was, okay, that's good. I'll talk to him about it tomorrow. My second thought was, I'm not even going to bother trying to get a replacement because I already know he's not going. So then I get a message this morning that's like, hey, I know it's a little early, but I decided I'm going to go and be with you guys today. He can't leave us alone, guys. You know what I've come to find out, Andrew, you said my guard is always up, Melissa Nicole, my compassion always gets me hurt. I've come to find out recently, actually, and this was something I learned a long time ago, but it like came back into play very recently. Yeah, we appreciate our ghosty. A lot of us think we're empaths, where we pick up other people's feelings and emotions, and we might be. But a lot of people in this chat particularly are actually telepathic. People think telepathy is only talking from head to head, right? It's not. Telepathy is also considered the instantaneous knowledge of the person or people around you. Meaning, I always use Bob as an example, right? Poor, if I ever met anyone named Bob, like poor that guy. You meet Bob, everybody loves him. They just think he's the best thing since sliced bread. He's cool. He's, you know, handsome. He's wealthy. He's goes to all the best part, like whatever. And the minute you're in the presence of Bob, you're like, oh, hell no, this guy is no good. That's a form of telepathy to that degree and that level. The problem is a lot of us, you know, in the society we've grown up in and how we've been kind of conditioned, we really want to ignore that. So we're not the weird ones, right? Even if we embrace our weirdness now, we are the weirdos, mister, that's great. But up until we all met one another, how many people in your life, I know for me, did you know that really was the same in this way and understood these things? Probably not that many. That's a form of telepathy, guys. That is being telepathic. You are reading a person's energy instead of their thoughts. That's what that is. Guys, I don't know if I mentioned last week, but keep praying for Ryan Tremblay. His mom did pass about a week and a half ago. Bob, Tom, Fred, I love it. I love it. All right, Aunt Edna. And I'm going to use Wild Woman. I do have your favorite deck open, but your team is pointing me towards here. So let's try this one. Mama Cindy, it's very good to see you, by the way. I've missed you these past few weeks. I know you've been stopping in to say hi, but it's nice to have you hanging out and relaxing. I can mind speak to certain cryptids. I don't know if I can, but I know I did accidentally, I've told you guys many times, channel a Bigfoot. And that was the creepiest. That's like one of the creepiest things that's ever happened to me. All right, and then the Bat Mom's next. So Ghosty Siebes actually is a member, so we will do her timestamp for her.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I didn't see it at first, and I was like, I usually don't do that for non-members for nothing. But then I was like, oh, there it is. All right, so this card popped out. I love when that happens because, like, all the more is this your card. Give me a second to click this link so I can save it so I can go back and watch it.
Yeah, I did find it.
Oh, it's not letting me. Hold on, let me copy. Hold on. Copy. Okay. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. And thank you for bringing it back up because we did talk about it before. I just forgot. Okay. Anna? Sorry, allergies. You got I Am Whole, card number 30, the card of wholeness. I'm sorry to hear that, Mama Cindy. I hope she gets better soon. Okay, and what qualities or desires have you repressed into your shadow because as a child you thought they made you quote unquote bad, and how can you compassionately integrate them? You're being called to lovingly descend into the realm of shadow, as there are parts of you that are yearning to be seen and held. Consciously bring together all you find within your depth, not for the sake of attaining perfection, but wholeness, which is the ultimate path to enlightenment. In the ancient Sumerian poem, The Descent of Inanna, Inanna, Queen of Heaven, comes to the funeral of her sister's husband in the underworld, the domain of her sister, Ereshkigal, bedecked in 7 pieces of regalia. This is spiteful. This is some spiteful mess. What's up, Mark? So listen to this story. Ereshkigal demands that Inanna remove 1 piece of regalia at each of the 7 gates until she's naked and on her knees. Upon reaching the final gate, Inanna tries to usurp Ereshkigal's vacant throne. For this grave act of arrogance, Inanna is sentenced to eternal death, but her father, Enki, god of wisdom, instructs two creatures to show genuine compassion toward the grief-stricken Ereshkigal. Ereshkigal gives them Inanna's body, and Inanna is restored to her place as the Queen of Heaven. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I like this card. Inanna represents our conscious or spiritual self, while Ereshkigal represents our unconscious self or shadow, which, according to psychoanalyst Carl Jung, or Jung, is made up of repressed qualities and desires that we deem bad or unlovable due to societal norms. The tale symbolizes the process of shadow work and Inanna's descent into the underworld while hiding behind her regalia, and her attempt to dethrone her own sister are what we do when we meet the shadow from a place of ego instead of one of vulnerability and compassion. Like Ereshkigal, the shadow does not care about how quote-unquote good we think we are, but demands that we let go of notions of good and evil and drop to our knees so we can meet, see, and validate every single part of ourselves. So, Anna, I don't know what this is that I'm seeing here. That's good. And that's probably why I was directed towards this particular card. This is annoying. It's allergies. Okay. I'm so sorry. If I clicked out every time I had to blow my nose, though, I'd be back and forth. Why am I seeing, and I'm going to give you crap just like you give me when I don't drink enough water. Why am I seeing here that you're feeling some sort of, I don't want to say guilt, but maybe a little ownness to the falling out you had with that close family member? I believe it's your sister, is it not? And we're talking about two sisters in the card. And yes, if you've never worked with your shadow self before, with those neglected parts of you as a child, I would definitely look into that if I were you. I actually sat down and interviewed 8-year-old me, which is the time when my life kind of started falling apart with my parents and, you know, everything that happened with me like started around that age. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm calling you out. I see all, baby girl. No, none of the ownness is on you though, right? And the universe is saying, direct that compassion, right, towards inner you. All of this compassion and vulnerability and love that you want to give to this other person. And even if you're like trying to make it your fault so badly, because if it's your fault, guess what? Then you know how to fix it, right? Yeah, I know. If it's your fault, then you can say, oh, it's my fault. I did this wrong. Let me do this better next time. Honey, it's not on you. You don't have blame. You know, and everyone says, oh, it takes two to tango. No, in some instances, it does not take two to tango, because a lot of high vibrating people, like the people in this chat and like the people and a lot of the people, not all, in our community, we usually don't have the ownness on us because we are able to look in the mirror being held up to us and say, ooh, need to fix that. And then we do the work. The universe, your team really wants you to understand, okay, that it's all right to think, that, you know, this is my baby sister, but it's also okay to maybe heal there's something within you that is still making you look at her as your baby sister. Think about that. You just referred to her as your baby sister. You had to protect her when you were younger, right? I mean, I don't know, but this is starting to make sense if you really think about it. My older sister, both my sisters, I got into a fist fight with my oldest sister one time, or my older sister, the middle sister. And my oldest sister, I was like 30 years old at the time. She yelled, "Stop it, Carol, she's the baby." Right? Yes, you had to take care of her and protect her, like almost like a child, even if you weren't like a second mother, like I'm not in like a neglectful way, but that's just how sisters are. I know, I have 4 of them, 2 younger, 2 older. And direct that towards the child inside of you who felt the need to care so much for someone who grew up and did this, right? This is you nurturing that part of yourself that still looks at her as a baby who needs to be protected, who gets away with everything because, well, she's the baby. She's your baby sister, but she's not that. She's your younger sister for sure. But the onus of what happened, even more so, the onus of what happened, Anna, is not on you. I would never sit here and tell you don't make amends. I don't know the situation, but I know what I see spiritually, and I'm very connected to you because I've been doing this with you once a week, almost every week for like 4.5 years, right? So I'm pretty in tune. I'm tearing up right now, and I'm trying not to because I don't want to ruin my makeup. You have got to let go of the idea that she's still this child. Not that you think she's still a child, but do you understand what I'm saying? That she's not responsible enough, or that she doesn't know any better. She does. And that stinks in a way because knowingly she did this. Maybe there are parts of her that don't understand, certain things. The problem is you guys aren't on the same energetic level, and you're a very, very old soul and you vibrate very, very high. So a lot of the people around you, even the people, right, Stephen can attest to it, me too, even the people you love more than anything in the world, your own children even, they're never going to understand what you deal with spiritually or on the energetic plane, right? You can explain it to them all you want. And while they might understand the concept of what you're saying, you're not going to be understood by a lot of people. And I think that's why we all feel so safe and comfortable and able to be vulnerable here, myself included. And then the next couple of weeks, I would ask you as your friend, as someone who really does look to you like, my old soul aunt or auntie, to pour that energy inside of yourself and open yourself up. And you might end up being physically better, feeling physically better too, to that child in you who felt the need, or young adult, 23, our brains are not fully matured at 23, who had to jump into this caregiver role. Talk to her. I know it sounds silly. You can do it when no one's looking, no one's around, and you don't ever have to tell anyone about it. Talk to her. Exactly. I'm always like, oh, my Aunt Edna, even on TikTok. I'm like, I know my Aunt Edna's on TikTok now. People in my family are like, who's Edna? Whose side is that? And I'm like, no, that's my aunt. She's not with you. She's my spiritual family, my soul family. Focus that inward to that child inside of you, to that young girl who sacrificed and had to give up so much. Because I think what you're going to find is that you gave up a lot more than you realize, to be able to step into that role. And this isn't to make you upset, like, oh man, I had to give up this and that, and look how she treats me. I don't think you have that in you, but the universe is holding a mirror up to you right now, holding a mirror up to you and saying, this is what is causing a lot of your physical distress. Obviously not all of it, but there's something spiritually misaligned inside of you. And I feel like that is you'll never be fully over it. And you know that. I do see one day there being reconciliation, very far down the line. And I unfortunately, I don't even know if I want to say this, but I've always seen it as like someone is sick and therefore you guys come together. It doesn't mean one of you two, someone is sick and it brings you two together, but your sister has a lot of learning and growing and maturing to do. You have to focus this in the next 2 weeks specifically. I don't know if she's coming back in. I don't know if maybe something might happen to her. I'm not saying she's going to pass or anything drastic, but she could end up getting in some trouble, having something happen to her where you are immediately going to be like, got to step in. You cannot do that. Please don't do that. Focus on the you. Okay. Focus on caring for you, caring for your inner child. She might call you for help. Exactly. It's coming. It's coming. I see it. In the next couple of weeks. Yeah. And I think that's why the universe.
I'm sorry.
I think that's why the universe is calling your attention to this. Obviously the two sisters, one of them grief stricken. But it's like, it doesn't matter anymore about her grief. She needs to take that on. And you know that, but really try to focus on that. Okay. Go ahead, Stephen.
That's all right. I was just going to agree with you. You basically took what I had in my mouth. So, and we're going to do Bat Mom next because Mark didn't pop in until after I called her name.
That's okay.
And then we'll go to the regular list until more people come in.
Mark says, Cindy, Lee, and Gemma, I got to meet the mate of my Squatch mentor. She goes by Mama because her name is difficult to pronounce. That was really cool. That is so cool. And I'm glad you're feeling well enough to do those things. That's so wonderful. I love seeing you up and moving and working. Mark, you specifically, because I have watched a transformation in you. I think I've known you not even 2 years yet. And I've watched this transformation in you, this energetic, just, I've almost never seen anything like it. It's wonderful. And I'm glad that no matter what happens in your life, no matter how you are physically, like, you are on this spiritual mission. And I mean, I admire you so much because there are times when I'm just like, I can't do this. And I shut down and it's like, regardless. Right. Natter. And Anna, you're welcome. Bat Mom, you still here? Thank you, Aunt Anna. I really do appreciate it so much. Means the world to me. I knew you'd show up. Now we got to wait for Nut Slap. Last week, he's like, well, I looked, and I still haven't gotten together with him to learn how to do the reactions, but I'm going to try to do it tomorrow because that's going to be a big new part of my channel that I think you guys are going to enjoy. I'm going to take all the videos you guys always send me and videos off the internet in general of alleged, I see you, Bat Mom, thank you, of alleged paranormal activity. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I'm seeing with my eyes and with my spiritual eyes and senses. It's going to be really fun and cool. And I'm happy about it. That's okay, Bat Mom. Don't worry. Now that we know you're at work, you're fine. I'm going to do your reading now. Let me just choose a deck here. I'm going to use Cowgirls and Aliens. You're welcome. Chin Nut Slap. Miss Arisha is coming to New Jersey in the first week of August, between the 1st and the 4th. She's going to be somewhere that I've never heard of, but it's about an hour from where I live. So we are definitely getting together. So cool. Yeah, so I don't know if I said this when I thought I was live and wasn't, or after I went live, but at the hospital today, they were doing construction, and they're always doing some kind of something. They've been remodeling this hospital for years. And I mean, it looks great and everything, but I went to walk just across the little, I guess it would be a driveway. You drive around, you can park, or you can pull out. And I went to walk because that's where the main entrance is. They have all the entrances blocked off except one entrance. So you have to go in this one entrance unless you go to the emergency room, which you can't get to where I go through the emergency room. Then you got to go in, you got to fill out the little questionnaire on the computer about having, you know, the vid, and then you get a little sticker and whatever. Thank you, Bat Mom. So I go to walk and the guy yells and he's screaming, "Get away from there. You can't walk there. Get the F out of here." And I'm like, "Excuse me." So I go to walk and I go to cut across the grass like I'm running late. He yells, "What did I just effing say?" And he is screaming. And I'm looking around to see, are there signs that I'm missing that he's getting so angry, thinking I'm blatantly ignoring these signs? No, there were no signs. I got so angry. I walked around and I was like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Can you come here for a minute?" And he rolls his eyes and he's like, "What?" I was like, "You don't have to scream at the top of your lungs at me." I said, "You could have, I understand it's loud out here." He's like, "I don't have time for this." And like did this in my face. I'm like, "Sir," I'm like, "You cannot talk to people that way." Like I was already having a bad one, right? It's like, feels like 93 degrees outside. I'm already at the doctor, which I hate being there. And he turns around and he pokes me right here. Didn't end well. Because then I went, like that to him. Oh, Batmom, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. And that's why I made it not dependent on you guys have to donate. When you have it, please do. That's all I ask.
We do appreciate it, though.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I was like, oh, hell no. And I pushed it like that back. And he's like, you just assaulted me. I was like, yeah, it was bad.
I've been all over that.
The whole time I'm thinking, like, I can't get in trouble in this county, right? I don't know, like, what I have lingering. I don't think anything, but like, I'm still one of those people, like, even though I know I've got nothing on me, I know I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't like when cops get behind me. I always like, and my husband's always like, what do you do? Like, you are not in that life anymore. I'm like, yes, but it's been ingrained in me since I was like 3. We don't like cops. And I'm always very nervous. So finally I was just like, you know what? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, but you did not have to scream in my face like that. I was like, you can go get security if you want to. I'm like, but they're going to look at the cameras and see that you did this to me first. And he's like, I guess we're good then. Then he goes and takes some lady by the arm and walks her right across the path that we just got into this whole fight about that he said nobody could step on. I was so angry. Anyway, Batmom. The hacker, card number 26. Decrypting transdimensional data is all in a day's work for the hacker, but how does she solve so many complex problems without getting overwhelmed? She stays focused, prioritizing her time by working on what's most important to her first. Where'd Blue Crossroads go? We all have those crazy busy times when we feel overwhelmed and don't have time to think. Batmom, obviously. I think he was a New Yorker, so he felt tough. Sometimes we even
rip that shank out.
Don't make me. I keep it in here now. It's not under my tongue anymore. We all have those crazy busy times when we feel overwhelmed and don't even have time to think. Sometimes we even forget what we were working towards in the first place. Next time you're inundated with things to do, remember to take time for yourself, Batmom, to prioritize what's truly important to you. Your mind will be clearer and you'll have the confidence to break into the galaxy's most impenetrable quantum computer mainframe. And Ghost Dragons, what did I text you about this guy? I said I just got freaking assaulted by a construction worker. And what did I say about him?
So you called him a bully.
I said a bully who never got any attention in high school. That's the exact thing that I could see it all over him. He was like so happy to have some power. I was like, oh, he walks her across. And the guy's like, she's an elderly woman. I'm like, I know, but I'm at a hospital that's specifically known the best in the state, number 1 in the state for 2 things: mental illness and addiction. You don't know what I'm here for. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm here for. If he had simply even just raised his voice because it was a little loud, that would have been okay. This dude was vein in the forehead. Like, I was like, I can't. I'm not in the mood. All right. Batmom, yeah, I definitely get a lot of chaos, a lot of hectic energy. I don't know if it's what's going on around you so much. That's the back of the card. So much as it is internally inside of you. I feel like you have a lot of confusion. I don't know if you're dealing with this right now, but in the next couple of weeks, there's confusion, and it's like something or things, excuse me, let's say it's one thing, but it could be more, that should be very clear. Or, you know, like, it's like something maybe you've been through before and you've always known how to handle it and it's popping up again. You're like, oh, okay. But then, like, you go to act and you're like, wait a minute, what do I do? Like, overthinking. The reason for that is because you are receiving energetic downloads, like, directly into your brain while you're awake. So normally when they show me downloads, I'll see you guys lying down, you're resting, you're in a very relaxed state, maybe doing yoga, meditating, just sleeping, half asleep. Normally they will come in either when we're in very, very deep sleep or right as we're falling asleep. You're wide awake. Your team is working overtime to try to get information out to you on how to deal with Mama Cindy, me too. Yes, share them. They're coming up in mine too. how to deal with something that you've always dealt with in one specific way. And it's like you deal with it and it goes away for a little while and then it's back again. And the universe is like, is this working for you? Right? Is this working for you? Because every time you handle whatever this is, it springs back up. So you're not really handling it. And this is not a judgment or an indictment. I have lots of things in my life that are like this. I'm sure we all do. The universe is like, please stop just for a minute. If you can take, I won't say a minute, that's not enough time. Let's say 3 to 5 minutes a day. As soon as I open my eyes in the morning, the first thing I do is close them again. And I just thank God. I'm religious. I'm not saying you have to do that, but you can close them again and just be like, I'm going to have an amazing day. Spirit, guide me. And it will. They will. There's something here that you should have. And again, this is not in a judgment, like you should have done this already. You should know me better than that. I would never give you that information or that advice, and neither would Spirit. But this is something that you should have, meaning you contracted that this was taken care of already. Like you should have spiritually evolved from whatever this is, whether it's a relationship, a hurt hang up habit, a bad relationship with somebody, whatever it is, that mom, that keeps coming up, even if it comes up once every few years. You know what I'm saying? Like the universe, your team wants you to handle it and handle it for once and for all. This may take a few more times, but what it's going to take is handling it in a much different way. Not just getting it to go away so you don't have to deal with it for a little bit. This is actually absolutely handling it. And the universe is saying, like, you may have an idea of how to do this, but you don't have the whole picture yet. That's why it seems maybe overwhelming or like way too much of a hassle, or like, yeah, I know what I have to do to get whatever this is to stop or to go away or whatever the case may be permanently, but I don't have that kind of time. Like, and the universe is saying, stop, take 3 minutes. And even if your mind runs a mile a minute the entire time, a lot of people can't meditate. I know I can't, because my mind will, I'll just be like, did I take out the garbage? Oh, I think the tap is running. What's the weather outside today? Was that a chipmunk? Like, this is my mind when I try to meditate. But the universe wants that. Because in that 3 to 5 minutes that you're taking to try to clear your mind, and then your mind just starts running a mile a minute, that's where the answer is going to pop in for you. I had a feeling. You know what you've got to do. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be instantaneous. And it may take a couple more tries. But as long as you start doing it different, you're going to be okay. That's going to be your direct path to having it taken care of for good. Okay? Don't judge yourself harshly. If you can't deal with it right now, let's call it a relationship, an abusive relationship. Let's call it that. I know it's not that, but let's call it that. You may not be able to get away the very next time this person hits you. Bat mom is not being hit. I'm only using an example. You may not be able to get away, right? But you can start emotionally detaching, preparing, and planning for maybe 5 times from now will be the time, right? This isn't like, yeah, by next week, you've got to be done with this. No, this is just giving you a new option, a new way of seeing things. And you are not going to understand what the universe, your team is trying to tell you until you stop for a minute. Slow down. Focus on yourself for 3 to 5 minutes. You deserve that much, Bat Mom, for all the time that you give to everybody else and all the energy and all the love and support. If I were to call you and I were to say, I really need you. I don't know, you would stop what you're doing and you talk. Why can't you do that for you? Right? Again, not a judgment, because I do the same thing. I may not answer you guys every single time you text, but if you guys are like, I really need you, it's important. If humanly possible at all, I will drop what I'm doing and at least text you or send you a voice text back. But we can't do that for ourselves. Girl, you tripping. I'm calling y'all all out tonight. All of you. Make it a list and I'm checking it twice. All right, Mark.
Okay, got it.
I already know who's naughty and nice. Are you frozen?
No, I'm just not going to say that.
This is literally how you look. Okay. What is this?
I don't know. What is it?
A card popped out. All right, Mark.
Yeah, she started with me too, Edna. That was really. I can't help it when Pop speaks the truth. He speaks the truth.
Smoochie, I don't talk on the phone. Like, I do not talk on the phone. But yeah, Smoochie was calling me through Instagram and she kept calling me over and over. And I'm laying next to RJ and he's like half asleep, but he's always got to be up in my business. So he's looking and it was her actual name, which I won't say. And he's like, who's that? And then for like 20 minutes, I got like this whole lecture of like, who is that? Why is she calling you? What does she want? What does she need? It must be an emergency. And I'm just like, girl, I'm in bed. Because I knew if I answered that phone, that was going to be it. Oh, Tennille, no, honey, you don't ever have to come in. Like, we talk and I got you covered. I appreciate that you did, but I know what you're going through. I'm going to meet your sister in August. I wish you were going to be there too. I'm coming to visit you next summer though, for sure. I'm just going to bring RJ with me. She was calling for RJ. You were calling for Damien, don't lie. All right, Mark, we're using Halloween. Steves, it's okay. We're going to timestamp you. That's why we have not called you yet. Yeah, Tadil, me too. I'm like, I'm so happy and like excited to meet her. But on the same vein, it's sad too, because I'm like, man, I want to meet Lotus too. Steves, I got you, girl. We're going to get you a timestamp, or we could see if while you're here, we can fit you in. But I'm about to read for Mark.
Well, actually, you can do her right after Mark if you wish.
Okay. So, Steves, if you hang out, let me do Mark quick, and then we'll get to you. You got it, girl. Mark, you got invisibility. It's the card of authenticity. You know that feeling you sometimes have that someone's watching you? You can't see them, yet you have a distinct feeling that someone's there. All the hairs are up on the back of your neck. You think you see something in the corner of your eye, but when you turn, there's nothing to be seen but empty air. This is the power of invisibility, the indirect fear and the covert threat of having to fight something that we cannot see. Humans have a strong visual sense, so it's no wonder that we are uneasy about things we can't see. The ancients believed that all manner of creatures, mythical and physical, and of course the deities, could make themselves invisible at will. When we consider that some animals are camouflaged so well by their coats or behavior that sometimes even if we're looking straight at them, they're hard to see within their environment, that invisibility isn't such a far-fetched concept after all. No, this is Halloween, actually. Halloween deck. In many cultures, the idea of beings who could watch us undetected were and still are common. Jinns, angels, nature spirits, the fae, and even practitioners of magic such as witches are said to have the power to appear and disappear at will. Later in literature and then in movies, invisibility becomes a common power, and we now have fictional superheroes that are invisible and even cloaks of invisibility. The concept of invisibility is a double-edged sword. Whilst it is a powerful tool to be able to gain information or to assist while no one sees, individuals using it are privy to information that may not be meant for them, and it may be taken out of context or unethically. It's a power of manipulation and can be very easily abused. Why, thank you, Miss Lotus. It's just too hot for the wigs. My doctor didn't even recognize me today. He's like, what is going on with your hair? I'm like, this is my real hair. He's like, those were wigs. I'm like, obviously, yes, you are definitely a guy. The idea of hiding away and not being seen is also a big part of the dark side of this concept. We're all born to shine our light out into the world and to take our roles. Hiding our talents, not expressing our true selves, stealing others' ideas or work, and being someone else rather than your authentic self are all aspects to consider should this card appear in your reading. So, Mark, I feel like, okay, I know in here you're very open about meeting your Bigfoot mentor, and I know with me, you've allowed me to discuss like the sound healing, the work that you do. This part of you, right? You're very open. I feel as though maybe in real life, not so much, and maybe for good reason. But I feel like in the next couple of weeks, you're going to meet somebody, or maybe it's someone you've already met that you're going to learn this about them, but they're actually on a similar path. This may be you finding a person that can understand easily these things that you're talking about. The stuff we normally don't talk with people about, right? The stuff I never talked with anyone about until I got on YouTube and just blasted it to whoever's watching. The paranormal parts and the cryptid parts and, you know, the extraterrestrial parts, the meditations, everything that you're doing. I feel like you have so much knowledge to give. You're still learning, and you have many different methods by which you learn these things, but there is someone close to you, I feel like, that you might be able to help. I'm not seeing your team really directing you to help them, but your team is saying you could consider it, right? So this is a part of your chart that is up in the air. Are you going to accept this person in and take them under your wing? Are you going to talk to them a little bit, or would you rather just stay silent? What I am seeing, though, is that with how much work you've put in, how far you've come, and how well you're doing, it's best not to keep it to yourself. It's best not to remain invisible in that area. Okay. Again, this doesn't mean tell everyone, because we know that it can really destroy certain parts of our reputation in our lives just to talk about something as natural as spirits, right? Or Bigfoot or whatever. But I feel like someone you're about to meet really needs to hear that you don't think they're crazy. This person is looking for someone to relate to. And I feel like you can relate to that. So it's up to you how far you want to go with it. But I feel like for some reason, and I don't know what this reason is, maybe in a couple weeks, about a month, you can come back and tell me, because it's interesting. But for some reason, it's like you being at this place at this time and telling this person, like, no, I totally get it, is going to make such a huge difference in their path that you may never get to see. Make sure that you don't come off as judgmental, overly critical. Even if somebody differs in opinion about something, like the slight difference in opinion, you guys are still talking about the same thing. For some reason, I feel like you and how you feel about what this person is saying is going to have a major effect on them. I don't know who this is. Maybe it's someone that you're very close with. I'm getting more of a stranger, though. It's very strange. Mark, just make sure you stay open-minded, okay? Okay, good. So maybe there's someone new coming into that group, or there's someone here that it's like what you say really has an effect on them. And the universe is saying you may disagree, but do it gently. This person, for some reason, is very vulnerable. And for some reason, they look to you and they're looking for what you have to say. Just be mindful of that. That's a little bit of a vague message, but I think you understand. All right, Siebes, are you still here?
Yeah. And after you do her, you want to go ahead and do Lotus while she's in chat? Would you
Good
like
idea,
that,
yes.
Lotus?
Lotus, you hanging out for a couple minutes? I can always timestamp you if not. I got a new deck. All right, I'm going to read for Siebes anyway, if you want to just take down the time. All right, Tennille, I'll do you next. Sir Whedon. That's not how you pronounce that, but that's how I'm going to say it. Ceridwin. There we go. Potential. In the uprights. I'm looking for the deck, and it's underneath the card. Oh, look at that. Card number 9. Thebes, you are a child of infinite potential, and the Celtic goddess Cerdiwin, I'm just calling her Cerweden, I don't know how to pronounce it, is here to remind you of the power that resides in the womb of your heart and the chalice of your mind. Everything you need is coming together right now, as if your life's reflection were shining brightly in a golden liquid in Cerweden's magical transformative cauldron. Imagine greatness, and there will be greatness. Envision peace, and there will be peace. Choose love, choose gratitude, and choose faith in the divine magic that flows through you. These are the only ingredients needed for the goddess Cerweden to work her transformative magic on your behalf. Regardless of the limitations imposed on your world by fate, culture, and conditioning, your true destiny is coalescing on your beliefs and on your behalf. You can be anything you imagine. Remember this: dream and trust that everything you need exists to make that dream a reality. This is the promise of the goddess Cerweden. So, okay, Sebes, I do feel as though you might be on the precipice of giving up on something. Now, this isn't your excuse to say anything toxic, okay? I don't know if that's the case, but I know for me, it would be like, oh, okay, any excuse not to have to do the work. But that's not what this is talking about. This is talking about you not giving up on some kind of dream, hope, wish, something you've worked very hard for a very long time. You're not seeing much fruit. It's like you feel as though it's kind of withered on the vine. The time for you to have accomplished this is over. You're moving on. So I'm just going to give a silly Gemma example. Oh, nice, Mark. I'm just going to give a silly example. So it's like, when you were younger, you wanted to be famous, and now you're 30 and you're like, you know what, my time has passed. This is telling you, don't think that. Keep going to auditions, even if it's like you go to a lot less. Definitely, if you want to pull some energy back from this and put more into other areas of your life, but do not give up on whatever this hope or dream is. You've changed your fate. You were supposed to have, this is just like kind of what I said to someone a few minutes ago. It's like you almost were supposed to have done this already. So it is something that's supposed to be a part of your life, just maybe not as big, right? So this would be, instead of becoming famous, you would become YouTube famous or like social media famous. That's the kind of thing we're talking about here. And I actually resonate very much with this because that's what I always wanted to do. And I find myself here and getting frustrated 5 years later that I'm nowhere near where I thought I would or should be. So this would be the universe telling you, Sebes, don't give up altogether. And especially there's somebody in your ear that's like making you feel like a complete idiot for having whatever this hope or dream is. And that person, like, don't even listen to them. Human beings are not capable of thinking on an eternal timeline. Okay. And that's what the universe is telling you. If you could see your whole life laid out on an eternal timeline, you would see that this is something meant for you, even if on a smaller scale. So whatever it is you're about to give up on, whatever it is, I know someone or other people have talked you out of whatever this is. Get back in the game, because you're going to have an opportunity to slowly but surely rise to whatever this is. If you give up on it, that's fine too, but you will have to relearn all of these lessons your next time on Earth. Oh, that message gave me chills. All right, Tennille, I'm using my new deck, the Goddess Oracle. Oh, nice, Miss Smoochie. Yeah, Mark, I would actually love to see that too. See, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about in like the reactions. There's my girl. I message her. I'm like, I don't know if I'm just like a low maintenance. I think I messaged Netter this too. I'm like, I'm a low maintenance friend, but I want to make sure we're still good, because we just, sometimes people are like that. Like, you can be really, really close with someone and not have to talk to them like every second of the day. But sometimes I'm like, oh, time to touch base. All right, you got Ixchel, and I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. The card of creativity. Yeah, I know. We both are, which works out well because you've always got something going on. I'm always running like a lunatic. All right, so XIX, Isis. Okay. I weave strings of energy into the web of creation where nothing was before, out of the world, into the world. I spin them into existence, out from my mind, out from my body, out of my awareness of what needs to be. Now there is something new, and all life is nourished. Ixchel has woven herself into your life to tell you it's time to express your own creativity. Deedles! I'm using the deck right now. It's time to stoke the fire, time to let your creative energy flow. Create, be daring, but also be responsible and conscious whether your creations are works of art or works of the flesh, like children. Creativity nurtures, creativity reweaves the tears in our vitality, creativity heals. It's our birthright in our lifeblood, Tennille. It makes us healthy and happy. We women have the ability to create. We give birth. So find the time, make the time, create the time to be creative. Beat that drum, use those paints, make that pottery, put on those dancing shoes, write those novels, explore your sexuality, rejoice in your own creativity, create in the way that is appropriate for you, and let nothing stop you. You're welcome, Miss Siebes. Do you feel blocked creatively because you aren't as good as someone else, maybe? Do the kids, your partner, your family, your job keep you from being creative? Yes. Stop using your creativity to find reasons not to create. Ixchel says wholeness is nurtured when you open to the creativity and live it. So, Tennille, this is, I know you're like going through so much right now, specifically physically, right? That you don't have time to like do pottery. I understand this, but there has to be something in your life that the universe is telling you, like, get creative in this area. Think outside of the box. There's a big problem I see you having, and you're having it over and over again, and it's vague. I don't know what it is. I know of a few things it could be because I know a lot about what you're dealing with personally, but there's something you're missing. There's something major that's going on in your life that you're struggling through. I think Porky's a part of it as well. Could have to do with your kids maybe, because I'm seeing like a family thing. Oh, nice, Smoochie. Thank God. Thank goodness. Where it's like the worry has kind of overshadowed your ability to think critically, because it's something you definitely can get a hold of. It's definitely something that you can contain and figure out and work towards fixing or rebuilding or starting afresh, right? So this would be like, let me think of an example real quick. This would be like with the company and you having to do so much work, even though you're not feeling well, and Porky having to do so much work. This is like the answer is staring you right in the face, but you guys are so overwhelmed and with just everything, rightfully so, that you're not seeing the answer. It's right in front of you. Now, I don't know if that's what it's about, but in the next couple of weeks, Tennille, start trying to remove yourself as best you can from all of these situations going on in your life that are causing you so much stress and chaos and energetic drain. And think about, like, what advice would I give my daughter if she were going through this, right? It's using that unbiased lens that we have such a hard time using in our own lives. Thriving patch and mowers mowed it down even though I had tape and cloth around my bushes. Tennille, you need an unbiased lens, but it needs to be you. You need to be the unbiased lens. In the next couple of weeks, I really do see you finding a creative solution to a major problem in your life. And it's going to, once you enact that solution, it's going to take so much stress off of your plate. And again, I think this is a collective thing, either for just you and Porky and the business, or you guys and the kids. There's something here that the universe is like, oh gosh, just take a second. Just take a second and move yourself for a second and look on it from the outside looking in. You got this. Let me know what that's about, by the way, when you figure it out. Who's next?
Okay. You did Mark. Divine is next.
Oh, Divine, I didn't even see you come in. I'm so sorry, honey.
She's still here. Are you still here, Divine? And I put
I feel so bad
because he always likes to wait a little bit. So
I feel so bad. So I dropped one of my new jewel pods in a cup of milk, or actually I spilled a cup of milk on it. It's still working, but it tastes like burnt milk. But it's a brand new pod, so I'm not wasting it. So burnt milk it is. Yes, Miss Deirdre. I also texted you, so make sure you text me back on that. Divine, I'm so sorry I didn't see you in the beginning. Please let me know you're still here.
If she don't answer soon, we'll just put her on hold in case she comes back in. There she is.
There she is. All right. We got Night Fairies. One of my favorite decks just visually by the artwork's by Paolo Barbieri. He does amazing work. Card number 5, Patience. Just a little more time. Waiting for the light of the dawn as the time passes so slowly, the Fairy of Patience reminds us to take a breath in a moment, to be still, to wonder, to do not much at all, really. Calm amid the storm, a time of waiting. Peace among chaos, it's worth the wait. The hedgehog totem invites you to crawl down into a deep burrow surrounded by leaves and foliage. Here in this dark place, wait for the light of the morning as the dawn teases across the sky. Allow this time of waiting to fill you with the sensation of warmth and comfort, not stress. Feel the patience grow in you right alongside your anticipation. Nurture this feeling of peace. Affirmation: my heart is patient and my heart is happy. The light of dawn will shine in time. Try to practice patience each and every day, even in small situations. We are presented with opportunities for patience constantly in this life, but it's so easy to ignore or discount those moments. Divine, celebrate and see the opportunity for patience every day and in every way. You are definitely going through a lot where like you need your patience. So while this card is beautiful and nice and hunky-dory and wonderful, I'm getting something a little bit different intuitively. This is like, don't allow your patience to boil over. Sunil, I love you so much. Thank you for coming in. It was really nice seeing you. And yeah, go get some rest, please. And give Porky a hey, hello for me. Divine, this is like somebody is definitely testing your patience. And you've about had enough. And I think that's why this is coming up. You've really worked on it. I totally understand that. It's one of my biggest things that I would consider a flaw is I'm very impatient, like rudely so. What's up, Nicole? So this is the universe saying, don't let someone take all that work you put in. Don't let them take that from you. Right? So something's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. This person, these people, whatever the case is, are purposefully trying to get you to act outside of yourself, to get you to lose your patience. And this is like the same reading for you. And I do apologize for that, but I guess it's a continuous lesson, right? That the universe really, your team really wants you to understand and acknowledge that the possibility for you to snap, rightfully so, but like that's the last thing you need to do right now because of everything. So much is riding on this situation and you keeping your composure and you keeping your patience and not losing it. And someone is definitely testing it. In the next couple of weeks, the universe is like, go with the flow, take time to meditate if you need to, talk about it, get it all out, no matter what, and regardless of anything. At the end of the day, make sure you keep your cool and your composure. And I'm hearing this as well, call the authorities if necessary. If somebody is doing something to make you feel unsafe, that's their fault. It's not you called the authorities and got them in trouble. It's them getting themselves in trouble by behaving the way they are. And we all have to be accountable for our own actions. Mama Cindy Lee, I'm not charging anymore. I'm just doing members first. And then after the members, I'm doing everybody. And I always ask, if you can donate, please do. And if you can't, it's all right. I couldn't do the whole donation thing anymore. It just was not working for me. So yes, hang out. And yeah, and it didn't make really much of a difference anyway. So who's next?
Okay. Well, Netter didn't answer, so I just figured he wants to wait. So go ahead and do Andrew if he's still here. Are you still here, Andrew? And do you want one?
Divine good. Find a, that peaceful space in our, we all have it in our spirit, and we can only connect with it in bits and pieces, right? Try to hold on to that for longer and take some of it with you. Next time you're in Jersey, we've got to hang out. I was so sick last time and I felt like such crap. That's okay, Mama Cindy. Most people didn't, because I just started going back to this way like 2 weeks ago. So don't worry about it. Yeah, the girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. I got you. Just hang out. I'm sorry. Who did you say was next? Netter didn't answer because he likes to go last.
Well, I was going to say, Andrew didn't answer either, so I don't know if he's still in or if he's running around. So go ahead and do Nicole and then Smoochie.
Okay. Nicole, I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle. Smoochie, I have your human spirit. Urso, what's up? Emotional energy, card number 25. Emotions are messengers to be met with appropriate attention, action, and even gratitude. Yeah, it's good to see you here, though. Thank you. All right, it's a little bit of a long one, so bear with me here. Nicole, emotion is energy, and each emotion vibrates somewhere different along the spectrum of high to low frequency. The positive emotions have a higher energetic frequency, and they are light and vibrant. The uncomfortable or negative emotions have a slower energetic frequency. They are denser and therefore heavier. Calm is neutral and located at the center of the spectrum. It's our optimal homeostatic setting and the equilibrium to which our bodies seek to return in response to any deviation. Uncomfortable emotions that we neglect can potentially result in unhealthy suppression or outbursts of reactive behavior and thoughts that take us in circles and on a downward spiral. These are the frequent and unfortunate consequences of inaccurately thinking that some emotions are bad, wrong, or without value. Nicole, knowing how our emotional life either propels us forward, sets us off course, or becomes a stagnating force is integral to learning how to use them for empowerment. Emotions are, by nature's design, our necessary frontier allies. Their roles are to assist us in surviving and thriving. However, until we work effectively with them, the second remains an unrealized potential. Essentially, emotions are the gateway to our inner child. They need our time, patience, and adequate caretaking to work their alchemy in our lives. If you are not yet particularly attuned to your emotions, now is the time to become so. Start by frequently checking in with how you feel and making a note of it in your journal at least 3 times a day. Include notes on what you're doing, what you're thinking, your location, and the individuals in your company. After a week of recording these aspects, look at your answers. Color code your emotions to notice the patterns and themes. The featured guardian's emotional maturity shines from her as white light. She has learned to master her emotions by creatively directing their energy into realizing her desires. She has shown up to assure you that your emotions will work in your favor once you become aware of and respond appropriately to their true message. Sounds good, Mark. Thank you. Guardian message. Shooting the emotional messengers for containing news that you do not like or want is as effective as shooting yourself in the foot over the need for a new pair of shoes. The job of emotion is to help you to navigate your way safely and successfully through life, so let them. Okay, Nicole, you're probably already dealing with it, but even more so, there is, I think, some disappointment coming in, and I would say major. Maybe some very lower vibrational emotions like sadness, pain, heartbreak, disappointment. Disappointment's a big one in the next couple of weeks, okay? And there's a couple messages I got here for you. Let's talk about the main one. Nicole, the main message here is stop taking on everyone else's emotions as though they're your own. And yeah, easier said than done, right? I get it. I totally do. But we have to learn to do that, because we will spend our lives absolutely miserable at most times, if not all times, if we're constantly picking up negative energy is a lot harder to pick up than positive from other people. But if you think about it too, smiling, if someone smiles at you, it's almost contagious to where you just feel the need to smile back. Did you ever start laughing hysterically just because someone else starts laughing? Like when you tried to tell a joke, right? And it's so funny in your head that like you can't get it out because you're laughing so hard. And then the people around you, they didn't even hear what you had to say, but they're laughing. It's that contagion, but it works with lower vibrational emotions as well. And I feel like the universe is trying to tell you, like, a lot of what you're dealing with emotionally right now, that's not yours. And I talk a lot in this stream and have for years about being mindful of our emotional vibration daily. Suddenly you're in a nasty mood and you have to stop and think, instead of reacting or yelling at someone or snapping out for literally what seems like no reason, stopping and going, okay, what just happened? Right? Why am I suddenly feeling this way? And I know it sounds silly, but it really shouldn't, because this is what mature adult humans should be doing, right? Why do I feel the need to scream right now when all that happened was, my husband asked me to hand him a coffee cup, right? And for an example, for me, he always waits until I'm standing in front of the cabinet doing dishes before he needs to open the cabinet and get a cup. It's annoying. But now that I'm aware of that, when he does it, I just step to the side and it's fine. It's only a coffee cup. Nicole, that's what I'm seeing here. A lot of the reactions that you're having, while they're warranted because all emotions are valid, it's like, are they really necessary when they're negative, right? We should be avoiding, to the best of our ability, any negative emotion. I mean, obviously, we can't avoid them all. We go through several range and the whole spectrum of emotions every day. And that's perfectly understandable. But the universe is saying you are unnecessarily suffering in some way because you're picking up something that it's like these small, minute things because you don't understand, right? You're not checking in with your energy. Now, I do see a major disappointment. Either someone's going to disappoint you, let you down. And I always say, like, if I could just stop having expectations, I'll be fine. But that's not realistic. And it's not realistic for any of us. Nicole, with this disappointment, and I see it being painful, emotionally painful, the universe is simply asking you, is this worth ever dealing with again? Is there emotional or energetic reciprocity, especially based on emotions? So say it's one person that's doing this, that's making you feel this way, that's disappointed you tremendously, that's lied or cheated or whatever the case may be. Are they usually not like this? Or is this just another notch in the belt of this person being a scumbag person? And I feel like only you will know the answer. And you have to determine which way to move after you make that decision. But allowing someone to disappoint you and hurt you and just being like, well, that's the way so-and-so is, and just continuing to allow it. I do it in my real life every single day with a particular person. I get it. But that doesn't make it right. And I'm aware, right? Even being aware doesn't make it right. But we can only do what we can do in the situations we're in. Nicole, I really want to encourage you to think about your next step when this disappointment comes in. Because it could be time for you to really cut ties with someone or several someones, a group, a job, whatever, that have been a really important part of your life, played a big role in your life for a long time. But if you're not constantly disappointing them as well, it's not energetic reciprocity. There's no reciprocation of what you're giving. It's unbalanced. And when we live in an unbalanced way like that, even energetically, we cannot survive to the best of our ability. We will always be vibrating low. I hope this makes sense, because it's actually a really important message, and I'm having trouble finding the words. Oh, Mama Cindy, I'm so sorry. All right. I apologize it took so long. I had a lot of long messages tonight, but that's kind of how it goes.
Well, she had company come in, so.
I know, I saw.
Okay. Good night, Miss Cindy Lee. Have a wonderful one. Enjoy your company.
Yeah. All right. Miss Smoochie, I'm using Human Spirit. Life of the Party, card number 39 in the reverse shadow position. Oh, are you sweating? It can get hot under all those spotlights, Smoochie girl. We sometimes mask our pain so that we can be the class clown or the life of the party. You have to take time to be true to yourself and how you're feeling in this moment. It's okay to take a step back, because when you do, it allows others to hit their mark and find their spotlights. Give up the adulation for someone else while you take a much needed breather and recharge your light. Don't worry about the party for now. Smoochie, stop pretending you're fine. Okay? Period. And that could actually be the end of the reading. It's not, but it could be. Obviously, you don't want to tell complete strangers or people you know don't care about what you're going through. But there has to be a way that you express the pain, the disappointment, the anguish, even the being not fine, rather than partying, being sarcastic. I hide behind sarcasm a lot too. Or being, kind of, I don't want to say rude, because I don't think it's rude when someone is purposely pissing you off to snap at them. But then that becomes a part of our personality, and we start doing it as a default. Smoochie, you're losing part of yourself. And I've noticed this just personally from when I first met you to now. And this isn't a judgment. I want you to feel better, and I want you to fix this, but only you can. It's like sarcasm and pretending have become the default now. It's not the fallback, when all else fails and I just need to get people to stop asking me if I'm okay. This is like how you just are now, for the most part. And it's concerning. The universe is saying, you have to, first of all, allow yourself to feel your emotions. You have to allow yourself to feel the pain. But then you also have to express it. And this doesn't mean snapping up. There's a person who's causing it. There's one person specifically. And again, I say to you, not that I'm pointing fingers at anybody, but just because someone is sick doesn't mean they have the right to make you emotionally sick. Right? I had the mom of a case I covered come to me, and I was the first person ever on YouTube to cover this person's case. The video is not up anymore. I took it down for her, but she came and she called me every name in the book, and she attacked me and she threatened me. And I was just trying to help. And she was like, well, you triggered my PTSD about my son's disappearance. I didn't even know YouTube true crime was a thing. And I was like, whoa. Just because you've been hurt doesn't mean you have the right to hurt. Right? That's not an excuse for verbally attacking and threatening a complete stranger whose only intention was to help. And if you'd spoken to me before you threatened me, I would have told you, absolutely, I'll take it down. I'm sorry if I offended you. But do you know what I'm saying? This person doesn't have the right. And I feel like you're just giving this person a free pass while you sit and destroy yourself. Are they concerned with how you're living? Again, not a judgment. I'm not saying you're a bad person. But are they concerned maybe with some excess drinking, smoking too many cigarettes, being out of the house all the time? I'm just giving examples. I don't know if you're actually doing these things. These are just examples. being out of the house all the time because you can't stand to be around them. Have they talked to you about this? No, they didn't. And it's not because they don't care about you as a person. I feel like this person loves you very much, but they are so selfish and caught up in what they are dealing with. They can't see past it, but that is not your problem. If you have given everything you can and you're still going through this with this person and you don't feel like you can go to them and say, hey, when you talk to me like this, it makes me feel like this. And when you do this, it makes me want to do this. We need to find common ground. Common ground in relationships is one of the most important things. And Smoochie, you're not getting that. And all you're doing, though, is destroying yourself. It's not affecting the other person. This other person is so blind to anything that doesn't have to do with him or her. Nutslap, I knew I was going to get you addicted to that dang game. I want to play this season. Smoochie, you have got to find somebody, a therapist maybe, or just somebody that you can trust, and you don't have to be silly, fun, lighthearted, no drama Smoochie all the time. Nobody's like that all the time. You're a human being, Smoochie, and you deserve to be appreciated and loved. You deserve to have a space where you're able to be vulnerable. You shouldn't have to walk on eggshells and be everyone's clown all the time. I know how that feels. So always just be like, yeah, it's okay. Because it's a lot easier than explaining a situation where people are just going to look at me and judge me for still being in it. Right? All I ever hear is, why don't you just get out of that situation? Or you chose to be around that person. Shut up. That's not helpful. Smoochie, don't destroy yourself because somebody else is self-centered, right? If you can come to the understanding that that person is not ever going to be the person that you can go to, find the person you can. And if this doesn't mean like cheat, if this is romantic, but it does mean you deserve to be able to be vulnerable. I know that's what everyone says. Why are you still there? Just leave. What an odd thing to say. Right? As though codependency and abuse, like as though it doesn't exist, as though trauma bonds aren't a thing, and people don't know what they're talking about. I remember when I was in addiction, I had someone tell me that if I loved my children, I would just go home and never touch a drug again. This was a counselor, a trained professional. Obviously, if it were that simple, I would have done it, right? We would all do it. It's like I give you a box of X-Lax and I make you take the entire box. And then I tell you, by sheer willpower, don't, drink, don't do drugs. I tell you, don't go to the bathroom. It doesn't matter how much willpower you have, your body's going to do what it does. And that's what you're dealing with. Seems I'm getting on his back, but you're not. But like for me, it's like I'll bring up one thing and the person will be like, yes, I'm aware of that. And I'll be like, okay, well, how about this? Oh, it's always the same thing. Yes, it is always the same thing. It's always the exact same 10 things because those things are never dealt with, talked about, handled, or fixed. They're not even acknowledged. Smoochie, you are destroying yourself physically and allowing this person to destroy you emotionally. You're going to end up being a shell. Be honest with people, with one person even, and just say, you know what, I'm not fine. And here's why. You can't always be the strong one for everybody in all circumstances at all times, always. And I don't think you hear that enough. Yeah, it's great to be strong, but we don't want to have to be strong all the time. I like being soft sometimes and vulnerable. And it's hard when I can't be. Oh my God, that's one of my favorites. And I hate those little cliche quotes, but that is one of my favorites. Deedle said, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And he's not going to change anything. He's living the life of Riley. Yes, physically ill and sick, but you wait on him hand and foot. You do what you do, bringing in money. You take care of the house. You take care of the grandkids. You set up the appointment. You're doing everything. He's not going to change anything. And I think that his physical disease, I'm not saying totally, but I think does have a little bit to do with spiritual dis-ease. He is very dis-eased in his spirit, and he's going to really have to face a lot of his own demons, Smoochie, and you can't do that for him. You've taken on enough of his demons. And I don't want to hurt you or make you cry. I just want you to know you're heard and you're seen and you're understood more than I think you realize. You don't have to live that way. Even if you don't just leave. You can still find your own pieces of time and your own people to be around. And if he doesn't like it, that's too bad. Can't make others change for you. And I know that's true because I changed tremendously. I used to be a literal demon. Like people were objects, and I was manipulative, and I did not care. Didn't care. No regrets. I'm not saying that because I'm proud. I'm proud now that I don't treat people that way, and that I did work really hard to change those behaviors and to work with my light, not the darkness of the addiction. I used to think I was a psychopath. I really did. I was like, wow, I am psychopath. Like there's something wrong with me. No, I was high. I was on drugs. But I changed. I changed everything for the better. Am I perfect? No way. But I'm able to look into a mirror and say, oh, I need to work on that. And then do it without shame or guilt or any of that. Right? That's why I can talk about my past very freely and publicly, because I don't have shame. Everyone goes through stuff. Everyone makes stupid decisions. Everyone, we're all only human. We're actually all only spiritual beings having a human experience, but all right, who's next? Oh, and that's so true. Illness brings out the true self. Oh my gosh, girl. You said it. You said it. I mean, I'm a diva when I'm sick. I'm whiny and grumpy, but I'm not ever mean or cruel. I'll be like, remote. And it's like within fingertips, like stuff like that. But I'm not like abusing anybody,
Andrew is next.
All right, Andrew. By the way, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Chris Jarvis, if you're out there, please let me know if you want a card. Okay.
And Deedles and Gone Girl, thank you for being patient because you guys will be coming up soon.
Actually, very soon. So you're doing good.
Smoochie, I wish I could just come get you out of there. Not that in my situation I know what to do with you, but we can be Thelma and Louise. I know I made you cry, and I'm sorry, but yes, that is okay. I hate seeing people suffer, and I hate seeing people have their hearts changed. Because you're not an emotionless person. You have a heart. And that's why you're still there. But if he can't see that, then he's an idiot on top of everything else that's going on. Nice. Nomeo, wherefore art thou, Nomeo? And Jarvis, let us know you're here, please. You know what? Maybe that's what it's going to take, Smoochie. Maybe you need to break. I broke, and I put the pieces together, and parts of me are still fractured, but I put it together a little lopsided, and, I'm a different person now, and I'm a little bit harder, and I'm a little bit tougher, and I'm a lot less vulnerable, but I'm still the same person on the inside. It's just the outside, The way I present is different. But if you really get to know me, you'll see the real me. Do you understand? But constantly living in a facade of I'm fine, I'm strong. It could literally kill you. All right. Nomeo, card number 52, the card of warning. We're using Urban Crow. This card was created during the height of the smoke from the eastern Washington wildfires that infiltrated the city. Crows have scouts that sit high up over all the action to serve as a lookout. It's their job to spot the signs and warn others of danger. Warning indicates the signs are around you. Something less than favorable is approaching, and your attention is needed to ensure you have time to react. Warning brings to your awareness the red flags that you may be missing or denying, putting you in a less than desirable situation. From the employer who always pays a day or two late to the partner who never seems to want to be seen together out in public, too often we make excuses in an attempt to dismiss the warning so as to avoid accepting the reality. I have a lump in my throat. Warning signs appear throughout various scenarios in our lives, Andrew. Sometimes it takes a friend or someone on the outside to point out what we don't want to acknowledge. When this card appears in a reading, consider the signs that you've received. Do they shed light on a situation that you may have been avoiding? So, again, guys, I'm sorry to blow my nose. It's only allergies. Deedles, did you use the boom boom stick? Okay. Nomeo. First and foremost, I'm just going to say it flat out. I see a possible accident, like a vehicle accident in your very near future. Be very, very careful. I know you're a truck driver. Not to scare you or put it in your head. Just be extra alert in the next couple of weeks. Okay. That is that message. So that's the warning there. Now we've got to talk about this. There's something that I feel like, I don't think you're really denying whatever this is. Nice. That was blue sage. I'm sorry, Andrew. That was blue sage. And I'll make you a spray of that next time too. I have a lot of that scent that I made. All right. I don't think you're denying whatever this is, Andrew. I just feel like you're like, it can wait, right? Like, I don't want to deal with this right now, whatever it is. I feel like it could be something instinctual. So I'm just going to give an example. You feel like the person you've been seeing for the past few months maybe isn't being fully honest about their relationship status, right? Just a Gemma example. But you're like, you know what? It can wait, because you're hoping so much that this intuitive hit, this download isn't true, that you're like waiting it out. You're waiting for tangible evidence. You're waiting for proof. And if you don't have any, like, no news is good news. Like, Nomeo, no. Like, you should know by now. You've been with me for years, in this stream, on this channel. It's like, what are you? It's like almost like you know you're going to be disappointed in the long run, but because the disappointment's not right now, and the person's still playing the game and living in the facade, you can accept that, right? It's like a game of adult pretend. I don't know what this is about a raise at your job or something romantic. This sounds something romantic to me, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a friend lying to you, a family member. There's something here that you are not yet willing to accept. And the universe is saying, the longer you wait to accept that what you know intuitively is true, the more you're going to suffer in the long run. So, for example, if you've only been dating someone a couple of months and you're already getting this feeling, talk to them about it. Bring it up. If they're not doing anything wrong, they should be understanding that, you know, people have had relationships before. We're grown adults. You end up hurt and you get a little guarded, right? So if they're not doing anything, they should have no problem with saying once, you know, no, absolutely not. You know, if someone's going to get mad and defensive, you have your answer for the most part. Some people are just like that. But you know what I mean? Nomeo, whatever this is, and you may not be resonating yet, in the next week or two, if you get an intuitive hit that you're sure that somebody has lied, and I do think this has to do with a lie, okay, and a big one, I feel like you've already known, though. Accept it now. Don't stay on this stage in this play just to experience the good feelings, because it's going to hurt that much more when it all does blow up. Whatever this is not real. It's not genuine. Nomeo, I don't know what this is. I don't know how it's going to resonate, but just be careful. Keep your heart guarded. Pay attention. Check in with your instinct, intuition, your emotional vibration, and be extra, extra careful out on the road. I am seeing a small accident, not anything crazy, but enough that it's going to set you back. Okay. So just be careful. It doesn't have to be you. It's other people that drive crazy. Who's next?
Well, Chris never answered. So
He might come back in.
yeah. Uso, you're next, my friend.
Urso. I thought you said Gustav. I was like,
I say Uso. I said Uso.
All right. Let's do. I got one.
And I keep disappearing because I'm eating pizza.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said I keep disappearing because I'm trying to eat some pizza because I'm on a
That's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Eat. I'm not. Here we go.
Sorry.
I'm not sure yet. Netter, are you in a rush? Because I know we have Deedles and the new person has been waiting a while, and you usually like to wait till last. So that's why we haven't called you.
And we got Nut Slap too, so.
Blue Crossroads, yeah, but you have kind of a special situation, right? It's unique in a way that I don't think a lot of people would understand what you're dealing with right now and what you're going through, or how you could. And I think that people could put that into your mind, and you'd have every right to question it, which is why you really need to trust the person and or people you're dealing with. Otherwise, you could end up driving yourself crazy. All right, Urso, I'm using Sisters of the Sea. Card number 37, responsibility. I got you, Netter. Thank you. The mermaid feels glum. Her world has changed because into her lovely life has come this curious sea creature she has to care for. She's unsure how to care for another or exactly what to do. She feels her life has changed from one of freedom and play and endless choice to one where she must consider the needs of others, or at least of another. She must now adapt to traveling with a companion she desired, but now realizes that it brings a lot of responsibility. It's not that she's uncaring. It's just that she never knew what it truly means to sacrifice the pleasures she's always known for the deeper care of learning to do what must be done. You too may be in a situation where your life has compressed, becoming one where there seems to be less pleasure and less joy and more earnest duties that sometimes seem never ending. In time, the mermaid will learn how to read the octopus's language, and in time, the octopus will grow stronger, more independent, and less in need of her. For you, this time of intense responsibility will shift and change. Children will grow, finances will become more abundant, and pressures will lift. For now, though, you have to do some hard things and make some hard choices. This is a time to adapt and learn how to care for both yourself and others. Whether at work, at home, in relationships, or striving for a goal, your courage and your fortitude are most needed right now. So, Urso, just putting it out there, someone around you could be getting pregnant. I don't know who. I'm just seeing in your periphery. Now, this could also be fertility of an idea and or. So it could be one or both. I feel like there's something you've been working hard towards or really, really wanting for a while. You've put a lot of energy, at the very least thought energy or effort into whatever this is. And of course, yes, you see that it fits, take it as it resonates. But it's like once this comes to fruition, whether it recently has or whether it's about to, because I definitely see the completion of a cycle here, a circle, something you've really wanted. It's like there's a lot more to it than you expected, and you're going to struggle. The universe is saying, don't allow this struggle to completely take you out. If this is something that you still want, you just have to adapt to, hey, I'm JC, much love right back. You just have to adapt to the, what is it? To whatever it is, right? Or you can say, you know what, this is not what I thought it was going to be, and remove yourself. You're still in the beginning initial stages of it. So doing either one, neither one is going to be easy, but whatever one you choose, it's going to be easier right now, rather than spending months, years, or even weeks doing something that you really don't want to be doing because you didn't expect all this extra, or letting it go, and just being like so disillusioned with it that now you're like miserable, right? I feel like you can find a really good balance here to hold on to whatever this is. But you have to work for it. You have to work towards the balance. And it's like you put so much effort and energy into whatever or whoever this is already that it's like you thought it'd be simple by now. You just get what you want. But it does come with more than that, right? And the universe is saying, make your decision soon so you don't make it harder on not only yourself, but everyone involved. If you decide you want to procrastinate or like dilly-dally between decisions. MJC, nice. Yeah, one day I will be a superstar. I'm sure of it. I already feel like a superstar, except my bank account. That's like my bank account can catch up with my ego. I will be good. You guys are amazing. Slavery with extra steps, energy, and a few things. Something very big is coming to fruition again. If it hasn't already, just make sure you're ready, willing, and able to keep up with it. So you don't end up, failing or letting anyone else down inadvertently or unintentionally, right? Just be very plain and clear with what you plan on doing next. Don't teeter-totter in the middle. Like sometimes it's okay to be on the fence, but this is not one of those times. You either have to take it all or take none of it. There's no in between here. Deedles, the History Channel interview. So I'm not sure. She said she'd get back to me. It's a whole new show. So they're trying to get like 20 interviews together to put the show together. She said, but as soon as it does, she's going to let me know. So that's going to be awesome. Ghost, I just realized that last weekend, what's his face asked us to be on his show on Sunday and we forgot to get back to him.
I told him that you had Father's Day and everything was going on.
Because I feel like he's not in here.
We would get together with him and try, because I know Sundays are the only days that you could really do anything, and it'd probably be better toward the evening hours.
With RJ home from school, yeah, I can no longer work. This tastes, I don't even want to say what it just tasted like.
That I can just imagine.
It tasted like a certain drug I used to do.
That's not good.
No. We're going to get rid of that.
What you do is you take your pod off. You take a little rubbing alcohol and just clean it really good and clean the pod too, the part you go in.
Well, I'm going to pick up, I don't know if it's the mod or the pod. So I'm going to test that theory right now because I have another mod here.
Because
it's the piece.
Okay.
Which is okay. I could buy another one.
Well, you can just clean it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and it will take care of that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what happened?
Right after that, let it, dry and everything.
Yeah, I will try because what happened, MJC, was I've been like a zombie. I've had a lot of extra energies coming through, a lot of extra spirit. I was at the hospital today for my once a month doctor appointment to get my maintenance meds, and there's a lot going on at the hospital. So even when I shut myself down, there's a lot. But because I had the stream tonight, I had to go fully open, and it really overwhelmed me. I came home, I had to deep clean my upstairs bathroom because it's been a while. I've been lazy and I was just so exhausted, and the chemicals and all the dead feeding off me, and it was so much. I passed out. I fell asleep. And my son woke me up by jumping on me, yelling, "I'm starving." So I got up like a zombie, went downstairs, and when I poured him his milk, the whole cup tipped over onto my vape. But it's still working. So I'm like, I don't have to waste the money because a 4-pack of Juul is $26. I used to use Enjoy, 99 cents for the mod, $11 for 2 large pods. Well, they're discontinued, so I have to use Juul. So, okay. Who's next?
Deedles,
I can't wait to. I'm really excited. I'm going to use the deck you bought me today, the Goddess Oracle. And then Girl Gong, you're, I think, next? Or no?
Yes.
Okay. Blue, absolutely. I have faith in you. I know what you're going through. I love that you talked to me about it. I love that you're very open with me so I can understand more, but I have full faith in you, no matter how hard it gets, that you'll always be honest. And I think that's what's going to end up being the most important thing, your integrity. She said, yes, I'm next. That's right. Your integrity will always get in your way, but in like the best possible way, right? And one of the things I love about you very much, Steven's the same way. I know he's a person of integrity, so no matter what, I can trust him. And I don't know a lot of people like that in real life. Like, there are people that are very iffy that, like, sometimes I feel I can trust them, sometimes I'm like, but when you meet people with integrity, I know for me, they always impress me because that's the kind of person I've grown to be. I was not always like that, as I mentioned earlier. But now, like, it feels good. I have integrity. People trust me. I know so many secrets about so many people that I will never tell. What's up?
Did you notice the background?
I did. I don't know who that is.
I did that for a reason, because Blue, I don't know if you me and him have become kind of your protectors. And yes. I couldn't find a tiger one, so I found the dragon and the lion.
I love it. It just stood out to me. It's beautiful. Deedles, you got Bridget. Oh, thank you, MJC. Hold on. Andrew, did you get your reading? Because it's kind of important that you get it. Guys, I'm not
timestamp it either.
I don't need you guys to comment, but I have such dysphoria about my face because of filters. It's really bad. I've got to stop using them because I am so dysphoric. It's terrible. Okay. Deedles, Bridget, the card of inspiration. Let me come to you through the mists, through the fire, through the plans, through the deep flowing wells with ideas, visions, words, music beyond the tips of your ears. Let me move you, enliven you, stimulate you till your perspective shifts and your mind, body, spirit explodes and you are left standing in the wake of what has been revealed. And life feels very sweet. The meaning of this card, Bridget comes to you to ignite you with inspiration. Are you feeling a lack of direction, motivation, energy? Has your path gone out of focus? Your life become unclear? Are you yearning for something but can't quite put your finger on it? Is it time to nurture wholeness by taking in the sparkle and crackle of inspiration? Bridget says that a life without fire of inspiration is dull indeed. She further counsels that by allowing inspiration to nurture your life, you become sharper, clearer, and more energetic. Thank you, Deedles. Thank you, MJC. That's what I was saying. I don't like mentioning it, but sometimes it does hit me and I'm like, I am so dysphoric. And I know it's the filters. I know, because I never had an issue with how I looked until I started using them. Deedles. This card is Bridget. It looks almost like Maiden Mother Crone, like it should be Hecate in a way. The torch on top, right? I feel like, not that you're lacking inspiration, but I feel like there could be, I don't want to say a lack of, because lack is like you're lacking it and you're not. The motivation, I feel like you have a lot going on. So the things that might be most important to you, it's like you can't focus as much on them because you have bills to pay, right? You have a very demanding and stressful job. I don't envy you there. And the universe is saying, like, in the next few weeks, you really have to find time for your hobbies. You were meant for something a lot bigger and meant for something more. Now, you work in a field where you consistently touch people's lives. I mean, that's how I met you. Your light was just so big. I hated everyone in that place in the beginning, but not you. You were the one person I would talk to, I would be honest with. I really enjoyed our conversations. And I think you remember, she called me one time and she's like, hey, I'm from such and such hospital. Can I just ask you a few questions? And I'm like, not really. I don't have time. And she's like, oh, okay, it's Deedles. And I'm like, oh, it's you. Yeah. And we stayed on the phone and I openly spoke with her. And that's kind of how we became friends. But there's more to your purpose than what you're doing in your actual job. And I think you know that. And I think you're aware of it. The universe is trying to open your eyes to that, because in the next few weeks, there's going to be an opportunity for you to, thanks, that slap, for you to explore more of whatever that is. I'm trying to think of the right words, so just be patient. Can't get motivated to start. Right. And the universe is saying, like, we're going to send you the motivation, but you have to make time for it. Right. I don't think it's that you lack motivation. I think it's that you lack like the physical energy because you're doing so many other things that are necessary for you to live, you know, like, again, working so you can pay bills and, you know, getting your car serviced and doing this, that, and the other. And the universe is like, you absolutely have to prioritize whatever this other thing is. Okay. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out, I would say, over the summer sometime. So going a little further, the next 3 to 4 months, there is a big, big opportunity. And I almost said interview. So I don't know what that's about, but it's coming in. You need to be prepared for this opportunity, interview, whatever it is, in this other field, in this other area. If you keep procrastinating and keep putting it to the side, when that time comes, you are going to be, I just feel like, devastation. Because it's like, if only I had listened to my instinct, if only I had taken that little bit of time each day or each week, or, yeah, I feel like you have to start prioritizing yourself more over what society tells us is important. And I'm getting into the realm of like where I don't want to be right now, but I mean, it's important that I say it, you know. You can't just spend your life doing what needs to be done. Sometimes you have to stop, take some time out of there, even if that area suffers just a little bit, and do what we want to do. And that's where I feel you're struggling with, like, energy, where you're directing your energy. I feel very sick all of a sudden. I've been open all day. That's why I think I just took on a lot. I'll be okay. Just give me a second, guys. I'm going to run to the bathroom and I'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
New person, please don't go anywhere. I will be right back.
Yes, you will be back. Okay, so the next person will be the girl and her gong. Then Nut Slap. Then MJC, if you want a card, let me know. And we'll put you in there. Then we'll do Nutter. And then anybody else that wanders in while we still have a little time. And then I think the only timestamp she's got is KC now. So, good. You'll be next. She will get you as soon as she comes back. Excuse me, folks. I didn't mean to do that. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, I like that picture too. I thought it was a cool one. I tried to find one with the tiger, but I couldn't find one with the tiger. So, yeah. I did the best I could. My backdrops are everywhere. A lot of them are from Facebook, but I spend probably about an hour just looking for backdrops just to make them fun and kind of, you know, give everybody something to look at. Because I show my backdrop before I actually do my countdown. I come on a little early and just let it run. But yeah, I like that one too. When you look at the full picture, though, the AI did not do a very good job. But when you bring it down, I would have liked to make it a little bigger, but the picture was just too big. So I kind of framed it the best I could. But yeah, I thought it was a cool picture. So I do a little symbolism in there for the hell of it. Pardon my language. But I should be here tomorrow night. Did you get too hot there, dear?
I did. I got like I said, I had to open early because I had this stream, and I don't ever have to go to the doctor on the same day. And in hospitals, there's a lot of death. There's a lot of sickness, illness. That is a hospital that specializes in mental health and drug addiction. So there's a lot of there's a big demonic presence there. It was just a lot. I'm okay though.
I could tell. Yeah, Blue. That's why I picked it. It looked like one of the pictures she did with the TikTok where, it changes frames. And that was the closest one I could get.
Okay, the girl and her gong. We're going to use the Divine Circus. Yeah, big. And it's not, a lot of it is very negative. Hospitals are just spaces of sickness and death, and he knows it's just so much. And I usually
spend a lot of time in hospitals. It's
I'm
not a
usually
fun
like
experience.
extra closed when I go to my doctor appointment, but I just couldn't today. End early? No, I'm going to end when we end. I just needed a minute to like refresh, drink some water, and these lights are also very hot.
He's trying to get out of it. Kid.
No, I don't. You're not getting out of a reading, sir. I'm okay. I've been researching into this theory of quantum infinity, I think it's called. It's Netter, it made me think of you. It's so interesting. I'll have to send you a link. All right. I thought of that because Blue was talking about alternate realities. And it's hot, yeah. Okay, so the girl and her gong, 1111, you got Sacred Fool, card number 28. There's much to be said for common sense, practicality, and a grounded approach, especially with spiritual matters in creating a life that fulfills your dreams. But if you're really going to live, love, thrive, and create this lifetime to be original, then you're also going to need to be willing to run the risk of being seen as a fool. Some people will call you stupid, naive, foolish, and delusional if you dare to dream and follow that dream in all of the ways you possibly can imagine. If you refuse to give up, even if others tell you that if it hasn't happened by now, it's never going to happen, then they might say you're a child, silly, disconnected from their idea of the quote-unquote real world. Don't listen to those voices. They don't understand that the power of the fool is just truth. In the court, the fool was the only one the king would trust and ask for advice. Why? Because he was allowed to speak the truth where others would try to make politically smart choices to win them power. The fool just called a spade a spade. When the fool in you speaks, it's to tell you something true. It might seem inconvenient, frightening, exciting. It might turn your world upside down or inspire you with greater happiness or faith. It's not your job to reason it away or say that it's too difficult or dangerous or, oh, I'm not praying for you, or potentially deluded to act upon that truth. It's your job to remember that the game of life can only be won if you're willing to take the risk and play it. So when the sacred fool is part of your hand, listen up, take a chance, take a risk, and forget about what other people think. Instead, listen to yourself and live true. So this is actually a very important message that I think a lot of us could learn a lot from. So when you know something intuitively, by instinct, we have the tendency as humans to dismiss it because if it doesn't make practical sense, right? For example, knowing you're going to be a movie star if you move to California, but you're from a little town in Idaho that nobody ever gets out of, right? And that's an extreme example. And people are telling you, you're crazy. You're going to go to California. You're going to travel cross country, but something inside of you knows. For you to end a long-term relationship or even a marriage because you know your significant other is not being faithful. Now, you don't have proof. You don't have photographic evidence. You didn't find text messages or emails. They never admitted it to you. But you simply know what you know. Instinct and intuition, and I say this all the time, you're new, I will repeat it. It's your spirit team yelling for you to listen, to hear us. We have something important to say that you need to know, and you need to try to understand. Stephen, I don't know if you're eating or what's going on, but we can't be doing this.
I am so sorry. I am truly sorry.
Get your food off the computer. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to.
All right. So the girl and her gong. Sorry about that. So it's like a tag team wrestling match. I always equate it. It's like a really good way for me to put it out there. I know. Get with it. The person on the outside, like they see their partner in the ring getting destroyed. They want to help so badly. They want to win the match. But the rules are they cannot unless their hand is tagged. So they want to get in the ring and let their partner tag their hand. You just can't. You have to follow the rules, right? There's universal rules and universal laws that we all have to follow as well. And your spirit team cannot step in and help you unless you ask them to. The only way they can do that without being called in and specifically asked is by getting these points made to our instinct and our intuition, those gut feelings, those intuitive hits, and even our conscience at times. So, girl, I'm just going to call you the girl. This is you understanding that even if you might look foolish or seem foolish to others, you know deep down inside. So what's more important? What you know intuitively about your own life in a decision you either just made or are about to make, or what somebody else thinks, even if that person you care about them dearly. But mind over matter, right? Those who mind don't matter. Those who matter don't mind. So in the next couple of weeks, regardless of what anyone else thinks, says, wants, needs, or feels, because this is not a selfish thing, do what you know needs to be done. It's the only way I know how to put it. It's like they want so badly to be able to help you. But unless you ask, the only way they can do it is that way. And your team is trying to get a message to you right now. Keep going. There is something here that you absolutely should do, even if it seems everyone else is against you doing it, even if it seems the odds are stacked against you. And you know deep down inside what it is. Also, just because you ask for someone's advice doesn't mean you have to take the advice they give. And I think that is one of the problems here, is that someone is giving you advice, whether you ask for it or not, and they expect you to run with it. Don't feel obligated to let someone else make your decisions, because when you take someone else's advice, that is essentially technically what you're doing. You're saying, that's good, I'm going to do that. And then they've essentially made your decision for you. There's something here in your life that it's too important to your future, to your chart, to your soul's growth and expansion, to your ascension, even, for you to let someone else's opinion or idea make the decision for you. Good. Don't be pressured into believing that the odds are against you either. You may feel that way now, but I feel like in the coming weeks, that's why you're getting this reading. That's why you found your way here tonight. That's why this card came out for you. That's why your team chose this deck and this message. This is meant for you. Don't give up. Sometimes you have to play the fool to fool the fool that thinks they're fooling you. Marilyn Monroe said that. I hope so. I hope that it's inspiring. It's coming from spirit. Do you know what I'm saying? So I try to be as clear as possible. Who's next?
Next is Nutter.
Netter or Nutter?
Nutter.
When you say Nutter, I think
New England Dirt Roadie, okay?
All right.
I can't pronounce the R's because of my screwed up threats. So just give me a break.
Well, when you say Nutter, I think nut, and I think nut slap.
And nut slap, if you're listening, if you want to call card, please let me know.
The girl, me too. Me too. I always have. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Guys, thank you for all the donations to my PayPal and Cash App as well. I get those right away, and I get 100% of them. Any donations, always appreciated, you guys. I've got little man's birthday coming up, and I could definitely use the extra cash. So, all right. So we have New England Dirt Roadie, Nut Slap, MJC, one timestamp, and who else? I think that's going to be it, because I'm not feeling well at all. I need to take a shower and go to bed. Deedles, thank you for everything. I love you, girl. I'm so glad you enjoy your box, your subscription box, and yeah, get back to me about the text so I know what I'm doing when readings comes around. All right. Yeah, and all right. We're, of course, using Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Chimera, Synergy. Card number 32, Dangerous. The whole is more powerful than the parts alone. Experiment. There is power in new designs and ways. There may be people around you sowing discord. You know many things and have your own wisdom. So put all this together to form something powerful. You have unique experiences and talents that can only be utilized by you. Homer gives a description of the Chimera in the Iliad, saying that she was of divine stock, not of men. In the forepart a lion, in the hinder a serpent, and in the midst a goat, breathing forth in terrible wise the might of blazing fire. There were many other descriptions, but bottom line, the Chimera was a creature made up of seemingly disparate parts, yet the parts worked together to create a stunning creature. The Chimera may have been frightening, but it was beautiful and harmonious in form as well. While the Chimera sounds like something cobbled together like Frankenstein's monster, it wasn't. It was considered quite perfect in form and function, and it was something to be viewed with wonder. While the Chimera appears in Greek mythos and art, she also appears in 4 BC Etruscan art and on indices seals of the same period. Indus seals. The Chimera was born from 2 incredible Titan monsters, the Echidna, the Typhon. The Echidna was a giant half-woman, half-snake, and Typhon was a deadly serpent-like Titan born from Gaia and Tartarus. Sadly, the Chimera was killed by yet another hero, Bellerophon. The king of Lycia, Iobates, had it out for Bellerophon and wanted him eliminated. He ordered the young man to find and kill the Chimera, as it was killing the cattle of his farmers and devastating the country generally. The real reason was that he thought that the Chimera would simply eat Bellerophon, and that would be that. However, the king neglected to remember that the hero owned the infamous Pegasus, the winged horse, and flying above the Chimera, he was able to kill it from a safe height. Plant companion, Eaglestown Chimera, which is a kind of camellia, and crystal companion is Amylite. Somebody got this last week. It was either you or Blue. All right. Netter. There are, I think, a lot of things going on in your life right now that seem either to not make much sense or to seem as though you're blocked and stuck. And I feel like this feels like a run of bad luck. Right? Even if it seems like things are a lot brighter now than maybe they were a year ago or several months ago, I feel like you still feel, at least in one area or certain areas, if not like your life as a whole, it's like you feel blocked no matter what you try to accomplish something. So, for example, say that you're trying to, yes, Urso, right? You're trying to get a certain specific kind of job, but it seems like every interview you go to, you flop and nobody ever calls you back. So you're like, I know that I'm meant to do this, but at the same time, if I were meant to do this, I'd have opportunities. This is the universe saying your lack of opportunity is what's propelling you forward. This is how whatever this is supposed to happen. It's with disappointment. It's with heartache. It's with confusion. All of this lower vibrational stuff. And it's like, well, if it was meant for me, then why am I suffering like this or suffering through this, right? The reason is because it's like once you're there, all of the lessons you have learned are going to keep you there. Once you get what you want or get to where you want to be, where you feel you need to get to be with who you want to be with, whatever the case is, whether it's you want to get married and have kids, whether you want a specific job or you want to achieve a specific thing, it doesn't matter. You have to go through all of this seeming blockage, all of these no's that are just getting you closer to the eventual yes. And again, the reason is so that you can look back and remember how much you had to struggle to get to this eventual point. Netter, I know it's very frustrating and it's very hard to stay positive when everything that could possibly go wrong seemingly does. But the quicker you come to terms with the fact that this is how it's meant to happen, it's not going to come in the way you expect. And it feels even unnatural. But the fact of the matter is, this is exactly where you're meant to be and what you're meant to be dealing with. You made a few wrong turns on your life path. And that's okay. We all do. This is kind of you making up for that and having to go through all this to get back on that right path, that right track, that direct course to exactly where you need to be. Yeah, the readings tonight were very, very deep. I think it's because I did deal with so much today. I'm like wide open, but I also feel like I'm going to vomit all over the computer. We're almost done though. I'll be okay. I'm going to take a nice warm shower. Who's next?
Yay. Nut slap.
Nut slap, let me know you're still here. I'm not even doing KC for timestamp. She'll understand.
Okay. Then if a nut slap doesn't answer, go ahead and do MJC. He's here.
I'm going to do, okay. Nut slap. Let's do wisdom of the house of night. Thank you, Urso. I love you guys too. It's actually, you know, I'm a medium and I'm a psychic medium. It's more though, like this is spirit doing this. I'm just the messenger. I wish, you know, it were me, but I'm just the messenger, and I'm just grateful and very blessed that I can interpret the things they show me, because a lot of the time it's shown to me in pictures. It's not said. I'll hear words and I'll hear things come in from time to time, but mainly it's like a picture in my mind that I'm being shown of what's going on. And a lot of the times I try to be really careful that I don't blurt everything out, because I know some things a lot of people might not want being said, which is why I'll use examples. Thank you. Thank you. And the girl in her gong, thanks for coming in. I love seeing new faces. It's really cool. I've been doing this 4.5 years every week. Yes. I guess that's true. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Nice. I think more and more people too are activating in this day and age, because there's a lot of, I mean, believe it or not, like spiritual warfare, just in the collective, people being overtaken, and people are like spontaneously activating. I've had it happen in chat so many times where someone's like, you know, I just saw a bright light and now I'm dizzy and there's somebody here. Like, it's happened so many times. This chat seems to be like an activation spot. Nut slap, my favorite number, card number 23. The card of listening. Drawing this symbol indicates that you are meant to listen to what others are saying with their gestures rather than with their words. So using that instinct and intuition. In my house of night, there will be a beautiful girl with skin the color of dark honey who has the gift of poetry. She's able to weave tales with great detail and expression, yet without being obvious or straightforward. Reading between the lines and finding true meaning are what are required right now. Listen and learn. What others don't say is what is important at this moment. So, Nut slap, this is you using your instinct, your intuition, and understanding, like reading between the lines. I know you don't like game playing, right? But I don't think this is anyone playing games with you. I think this is possibly you. I'm going to be careful how I say this. Possibly reading too much into something. I'm actually getting intuitively the opposite of what the card is saying. I'm getting from your team more of like, you're thinking too much about something that really isn't, you know, like someone makes a side remark and like it sticks with you, right? So now you're like self-conscious about something with this person. I feel like deep down inside, whether it be someone keeping something from you or someone, you know, saying an offhand comment, like, you know, when a person is being real with you and being honest with you and when they're not. So I guess my question would be from your team, why would you pretend as though you don't know? right? We always have a theme every week where like a lot of the readings have the same underlying message. And Nutslap, it's the same for you. It's like, don't play pretend with someone simply because that's the game they want to play. If you know what's really going on, you know, I never say be confrontational, but I do tell you guys sometimes to confront. And this is you being like, no, you know what? I know you're not being truthful. I know you're lying. I know that's wrong. And this is you just standing up, even if it's something very, very small. For some reason, in the next couple of weeks, I'm seeing the universe, like your team is really pushing you to be like, enough is enough. Like, I'm so tired of this person or these people or the people in this situation, like playing these games. It's time for you to call someone or several someone's out about being disingenuous, even if they're not outright lying. Lying by omission is still lying. Don't be manipulated. Don't be deceived. And don't be manipulated into doing something that you know isn't right, or that you know you shouldn't be doing, or that, you know, manipulated into like, I just feel like somebody is trying to like have you do something that they know you shouldn't be doing. This never happens, guys. I'm losing it a little. Nutslap. Make sure that you're honest with yourself and with others. You don't have any issue with telling people how you feel. You even come off brash sometimes. And I'm okay with that because I know that that's just you. Sometimes that's how people are. But I feel like with this one person or in this one situation, maybe it's like at your job and you don't want to say anything to your boss because you could lose your job. The universe is like, you need to take the chance because you need to stand up for yourself in whatever this is. And just call this person out on their BS. More than likely, there won't be any repercussions because you're being pushed to do this. Don't take anyone's crap and don't play anyone's game of pretend either, especially in the next couple of weeks. All right, MJC, let's get yours out of the way. And then I am going to click off quickly, guys. Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we have our usual pre-recorded video. And we're talking about people who committed crimes, murders, and other smaller crimes, who their defense was that they were mind controlled by aliens and extraterrestrial beings. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. All right, MJC. This popped out. Let's take it. You got card number 31, the card of solitude, alone but not lonely. Love that. Yeah, but Nutslap, like, while it's cool that you worry about that and you don't want to go out of your way to hurt anyone's feelings, in the next couple of weeks, I feel that somebody's playing with you. So you have every right to be like, nah, that's BS, right? And if they want to feign having their feelings hurt, that's fine. But they know that you're right and that they are lying or omitting or being disingenuous or trying to manipulate you. They're not going to do much about it because you're not wrong. And they don't want everyone else finding out about it. Right? Just let them know you're not going to be a part of their little game. Introspection is the key now, MJ. Take time away from others. The answers are within you. Explore the concepts of self-nurture, self-value, and self-truth. Are you treating yourself gently, or are you rough and impatient with yourself? Solitude isn't loneliness. It's an opportunity to pause and allow the entire serene universe to wrap its arms around you. It's when you have the space to be hugged by life. The butterfly kisses the maiden's shoulder, a tender reminder that after a period of darkness, a cocooning of the senses, a glorious winged creature emerges from the chrysalis and is free to explore and delight in herself and others. A new leaf shoots from her thumb. In yoga, the thumb represents fire and universal consciousness. From periods of quiet solitude, fresh inspiration and motivation can emerge. Yeah, I just feel like you need to take a step back. There's a situation that maybe MJC, I feel like there's a situation that you're very unsure of. I don't know if it's something like a relationship that's up and down or a business venture that's like back and forth. It's like you don't really know where you stand. And every time you think you're on stable footing, it's like the ladder's pulled out from under you. If you don't know what I'm talking about in the next couple of weeks, you will, because I usually read for whatever's resonating now into like a few weeks ahead. This is your team is like, listen, take some time to really, I said it to someone else before, you have to see this through an unbiased lens. So that would mean taking yourself out of the situation. Imagine the person you love most in the world. Imagine they were dealing with whatever you're dealing with right now. What advice would you give them? And then take that advice. Also, I feel it's important. Your team is like really, this is very big. I need to let you know or remind you that it's not selfish to put yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. So the glass of water analogy that I'm sure my gemstones are tired of hearing, but it works. You are a glass of water. And throughout the day, you let people take sips and you give certain people have a straw. And then there are those that just chug, chug, chug. And by the end of the day, you're a knocked over glass with nothing left in it. None of those people, if none of those people are refilling your cup, why are you giving them so much of your energy, of yourself? I know in my generation, I'm 42 years old. I was taught you got to give someone the shirt off your back or you're selfish. You got to give someone your last crumb of food or you are selfish. Like, no, that's why you have to put on your oxygen mask first before you help others when you're going down in an airplane. You're not prioritizing yourself, and that is noble to put others first and to take care of others. But it gets to the point where who is taking care of you and how are you refilling? How are you energetically aligning? What are you doing instead of taking that time for yourself? And what and who could be cut out so that you can take that time? In the next couple of weeks, it's going to be very, very important that you take time out for yourself because there is something very dishonest around you, happening around you. You're going to end up being pulled right into it because you're not receiving enough energetic reciprocity, like reciprocation of the energy you're putting out. You're not receiving enough in from the other people around you, particularly in one area, like one situation or relationship, to be able to like clearly, intuitively see what's really going on below the surface. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, you probably have an inkling now that something's wrong in some area or someone's not telling you something or someone purposely lied or kept something from you, you know what I mean? To keep you interested in something or to pull you in. You're going to have to take some time for yourself. You have an inkling now that something's not right. And if you just pull yourself, remove yourself from the situation, again, try to look at it from an unbiased outsider lens and perspective. The person you care about most is going through this exact same thing. What would you tell them? Then take that advice. Guys, I really don't feel well. This almost never happens, but it's been a very long day, as I said from the beginning. Yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for just everything, always being there. TikTok, Instagram, over here, Facebook. I mean, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to make a living off this. Donate if you can, please, to PayPal and Cash App. It means a lot to me. It's like my only pay. I'm the battery. I didn't always know this. I woke up, I've been asleep. Good, but keep your focus on that. Because if your battery's in, what are you going to give someone else if you don't have it in you? And if nobody's there to refill, you have to do it. Just like if you saw someone struggling to feed themselves, you would help them. Well, you're struggling to eat right now. You have to help yourself. Trust me, you got this. We're all going to be all right. Thank you. I'll feel better. I'm just going to shower, maybe have a slice of pizza and go to sleep. It was just an overwhelming, energetic day. Love you guys so much. Don't forget Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's a pre-recorded upload, but I do premiere it so you guys can chat. I'm usually not there. With little guy out of school now, I only have Sundays really to work, but I'll get as much done as I can. TikToks throughout the week, YouTube shorts and everything. But yeah, what a great night. What a great evening. What great readings. And stay amazing, guys. I love you all.